What's up? What's going on? What are you doing? How's life? What's up?
Big Ten Media.
Who cares?
That's what's up.
Oh, no. It's over. It's over!
We think.
Yeah, no, I think it's over.
It is.
We think.
But I consumed a lot. I consumed more Big Ten Media today than the past 2 days combined.
Me too.
Yeah.
I heard Dan Lanning 3 times today.
I heard Lanning on with, I guess it was not Dirt and Sprague. It was Sprague and Will. And then I heard him on the Pat McAfee show. So I heard Lanning twice.
Well, he was also on Danny and Dusty. They played his opening statements.
Okay.
His press conference.
And I heard some of Jed Fish. I heard Dylan Gabriel. I heard some Terrence Ferguson. I heard some Jonah Coleman. It was a lot. There's a lot of consume. I had some Lincoln Riley. Some shots were taken.
Are you guys excited to hear what we've heard? They're probably like, who cares? Well, I don't know. I mean,
I saw a homeless fire. That happened.
Good little day. Good little 3-day media day.
We never did get to Frothing Wound.
No, I did not get to the frothing.
We got to get to that.
Yeah, the frothing wound was something, but today coming down 205 from Clackamas was like just at a standstill. And it always frustrates me when you're like in a 20-minute delay. You want something of substance to delay you. Like the other day when we had the golf tournament, that was like an hour delay for me getting just even on the freeway. And it turned out like a cement truck and a semi overturned. That's legit, right? Like an hour to get on the freeway, which normally takes me about, let's say, 8 minutes. And then I was, and you're all pissed. And then you see the overturned, when something that big is on its, is overturned, it's on its back. Then you're like, all right, you know what? Fair enough. But now, like I was a 20-minute, basically 3-mile-an-hour crawl, and then I got up there, and it was a homeless fire on the other side of the freeway. Why? Why are we all stopped? Simply because of an encampment fire that was 6 lanes away from us.
Was it the looky-loos?
It was the looky-loos.
Just looking at...
Yeah,
well, fire's mesmerizing.
Well, but... Can we not look at it as we go 65?
I do.
Do we
that.
need to be going 6 miles an hour to look at the fire?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, all it was a bunch of, like, again, it was a bunch of tents and, I don't know, whatever the urban campers have. And then, it's fire, a bunch of smoke, but
yeah, move it along.
Yeah, we didn't need to.
We don't need to stare at that.
No.
What, you never seen fire before?
Yeah, I was so, it enraged me. I was like, yeah. And not that I want to see an accident, but again, I understand an accident. I understand someone blows a tire and then the car is the ass is sticking out into the lane. That I get, but the fire, and it would also make me feel better if the fire was on our side, because I'm going southbound. So if the fire was in like the brush going that direction, but have it to be on the other side of the freeway, shouldn't it only be then the north, or I guess, there'd be the southbound. I had flipped. Wouldn't it be the other direction that should have the big slowdown?
Yeah, but people are stupid. If you could, if you could unite people on one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're divided. We're divided about everything.
Yeah.
Like we can never agree on anything, right?
No.
But if I said to you, you can unite people and everyone will fall in line on one topic, one thing.
Yeah.
Would you choose traffic, where all of a sudden everybody doesn't have their head up their ass?
It's pretty good.
They're paying attention.
Yeah.
They're driving. They're just, everybody's a good driver and everybody's courteous of the other drivers. And
We all give each other 10 to 15 feet, so there would be no,
it just all works great. There's nobody with their head up their ass. What would you, of all the things in the world,
But I'll tell you what, that's pretty good.
to unite people, wouldn't it be that?
Well, I think I would unite people into making me ruler and giving me all the money. But outside of that,
Well, that's not realistic.
well, neither's the traffic thing and having people not have their head up their ass.
This whole scenario is not realistic.
That's fair.
Look, I'm just saying, if I could unite people and make me like, I don't know, I'm not going to say God, but God-like. Yeah, kind of like, just,
See, it's all about you again.
well, yeah, absolutely.
This
But
is about
yes,
people.
Society,
People coming together.
traffic. Well, why can't we come together over giving me large sums of money?
No one would want that.
All right, I don't even want to be God anymore. Just
Get creative. Steal that guy's money.
Yeah, that.
I mean, you could unite people on politics, but that would be no fun. You could
Actually, that would be,
You could unite people on
China.
climate change, like trying to do something to help the world.
It would be pretty selfish to just say that we're gonna unite people on traffic, because there's
yeah, but it's useful.
it is useful
because everyone deals with it.
Yes,
And how great would that be?
It is amazing when you think about it that if everyone just backed off,
Yeah.
if you gave everyone 20 feet, just give them 20 feet, it would solve like 90% of traffic problems. Because it's
Or
always
just pay attention.
Yeah, but I mean, paying attention still. If you're up someone's keister, no one else can. It's all merging. I mean, that's what it is people moving lanes and merging. So if you gave everyone ample space, if there was some sort of system that prevented you from being right up against a car, I'm assuming that kind of solves the majority of it, minus accidents. Although that kind of solves accidents too.
I don't know, man. I just think people will find new and creative ways to screw up traffic. It only takes one or two people to be idiots to screw everything up. I was honked at today, and I'm not happy about it.
Ooh, were you doing something to be honked at?
No, all I did was merge on I-5.
That's a honkable offense.
Why would the guy honk at me? It was some guy in a truck.
He didn't like the way you were merging.
I merged into the left lane, going getting onto I-5 North at Terwilliger.
Did you not follow the zipper? Did you not wait your turn?
No, well, there was no other car merging. I was the only car merging, but all three lanes of traffic were packed. So this guy could not he could not move over to the left,
Yeah.
right? But there was a gap between him and the truck ahead of him, and that was my
Here's your opportunity.
and so I snuck in there
And you
with
got-
blinker,
You got
and he
honked.
honked at
Yeah,
me.
you got honked.
I'm like, what is that, dude?
See, this is where again.
What do you want me to do?
This goes back to we need some form of communication because you don't know what that honk was about. There should be some form of Bluetooth communication where you can say into your car, because you you have the Black Highlander, right? And that so be like, hey, Black Highlander.
It's pink.
Pink. And then he can instant message you.
I was looking for the because he came back around later in traffic and stared me down.
Yeah.
He did not like me for some reason.
No.
In my pink Highlander.
And wouldn't you like to know what it was about you besides the pink Highlander that pissed him off?
No, I just think he's an idiot.
Oh, well.
And again, this is what I mean. Like you never know what's going through someone's head. It's like, why would you be mad about somebody merging? Like that's a you problem, not me, right? So I was looking for the signs on the big trucks that say "How am I driving?"
Yeah.
I was looking for that. I was gonna call his ass in.
Be like, hey, I just think we'd be better off.
But it wasn't even on this truck.
We need again. I think you'd be better off if you would have known, because maybe you did do something.
I didn't.
But you don't know. You don't know why he's angry, and we need
I don't
more
care
information.
Why he's angry. There would be no reason for him to be angry with me, and that is his problem.
Yeah. Well, a couple weeks back, I was going through, and I think I may have said this, but there was a guy on the little scooters. You know, the little Lime scooters or whatever. I don't know what they call.
Yeah,
those things.
the electric ones that you can like rent and leave all over the city. Those ones. Yeah.
I didn't see him. Just flat out didn't see him. It's like, you looked over there and he started to go and I started to go from a four-way stop, and I stopped. I was nowhere near him. It's not like we had a near accident. It was just one of those where I had to, start and then stop. And he gave me the very angry, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
'Cause
whatever.
You didn't see him.
Yeah, I didn't see him. So I gave him the hand up. I gave him the wave.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the hand.
Up, my bad.
I like to do the hand up. I'm a hand up guy.
Yeah.
Because I'll be the first one to admit, a lot of times that I'm doing things in my car, I don't want to be doing them either. So I gave him the wave, and my man peels off and comes over to my car window. And I'm like, oh my God. Are you serious?
Here we go.
And as I roll down my window, and the guy starts like, what the F, man? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you didn't see me? And I was like, no. And he's
It's
like,
why I waved. I was sorry.
And he thought I gave him the bird.
Oh, he thought you were flipping him off.
And I was like, no, dude. I was like, I didn't give you the bird. I gave you the hand. And he was like, oh.
Yeah. All right, dude.
And he was like,
no, I won't kick your ass.
I was like, well, dude, what's your problem? I said, dude, you shouldn't be coming over to anyone's window. And like, you're on a scooter. Like, this is a bad idea. You can't just kick a homeless person off a bike and take it. No, you can't.
Yes,
Although
you can.
I've thought about it. But yeah, then I think he realized that, one, he's an idiot for coming over in the first place. Two, no one gave him the bird. And then he did sorry. And then he drove off. And it was like, again, I need a way to communicate with him, because apparently the hand can look like the finger. I think you're just used to when someone raises their hand, I need a better way. I don't, you know.
Well, the Vancouver Ford text line is in, and Jordan says, if you thought road rage was bad now, a communication method would not make things better. And he's right.
No.
He's right. It wouldn't work the way you think it would work.
Well, apparently I need to come up with something better than the hand. Maybe
I've always-
window down in hand? Because I did not like...
No, I've always wanted little Nerf balls to throw at people.
Yeah, that would go well. That would go well.
Well, I don't want to flip them off. That's
No.
rude. But I would like to throw Nerf balls at their window to make them, at least for a split second, think that I threw something hard at their window.
With all the road rage shootings,
Biodegradable, of course.
Of course. My middle finger stays right tucked in my little fist.
Me too, man.
I do not,
No, I don't throw
under
that out.
any circumstances, throw the bird.
Nope, because that is what will bring out the gun.
Exactly.
The next thing after the bird is a gun.
And then that, what his response is, I felt threatened.
That's
Like,
right.
you were threatened by my finger? Well,
Never flip anyone off.
who was the
Except
douche,
for Buck.
the doucher that shot that guy?
Why do I get flipped off?
Like on NATO? Remember in the
Subaru.
Mercedes? His thing was he thought that it was a setup. He thought that one guy was yelling at him, and that way the other guy could come behind and shoot him. That was his justification
boy.
for shooting two people.
Yeah.
You keep that middle finger, and that's what I told the guy on the scooter. I said, you cannot be rolling up to people's window on your scooter. Like again, if that's the wrong guy, and he rolls up, like literally right against my car as I roll down the window and he starts yelling, that's how you get shot.
But isn't this the problem, though? That's the problem. The problem is people don't have the wherewithal to think. They just act.
Yeah.
They react. They're very visceral, and that is not good.
That's not good. We need time to...
Yeah,
You need
think.
You need cool off time.
Calm down.
Yeah. Especially when you're on a scooter.
Well, not only that, but what are you going to accomplish?
I don't know. I'd like to think that guy left feeling like a dumbass that day. So, sorry, lime scooter guy, but,
Well, truck guy, I usually am, I'm pro truck driver,
Yeah.
but this guy was an ass.
Yeah. Well, to all those people looky-looing at the fire that is, as far as I know, this was like 25 minutes ago that was still burning. It's just a fire. You see them all the time. Keep going.
All right, let's get to our poll question coming up next, and we're going to hear a little bit of Daniel Lanning.
Yes.
He was speaking again today.
He's very good on the podium.
Well, he's certainly, I've noticed.
He's no Deshaun Foster.
You know what? I've noticed, I don't know how much we're going to play of his stuff, but there is one relevant clip from Pat McAfee we have to play. But what I've heard of him, I noticed something about him today that I hadn't really noticed in the past.
Picked up on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's a polished guy. He's a good CEO.
So it's 3:13. We'll come back with our poll question. We'll hear Dan Lanning on the Fan.
That's one draft down.
The Portland Trail
A little REO Speedwagon on a beautiful Northwest Thursday. That makes me feel good.
Love the Speedwagon.
Dude, me too.
I give him 2 thumbs. Meh.
So we have, well, I'll get to our poll question in a second, but we have Dan Lanning audio coming up here. Do you know him?
I do.
You're a friend?
My dear friend.
Dan Lanning. He was out there at Media Day today. The thing I noticed about him today, I listened to him 3 times. I happened to be in the car when I heard Ortner and Sprague interviewing him this morning on the morning show. And I got to tell you, when I first got in the car and I heard Ortner interviewing him, I was terrified. Because I'm like, what happened? Like, where's Dirt? Where's Sprague? And then Sprague came on. I'm like, okay. So Ortner's filling in. Because that scared me a little bit.
Yeah,
we don't want Ortner and Lanning in the same.
I understand.
Yet.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
So heard that one. Then I then I heard the Pat McAfee thing, which we'll play for you in a moment. And then I heard his big podium. Danny and Dusty played his podium speech. You know, and I noticed that Dan Lanning has a lot more cheesy coach cliches now than he used to.
I did see on, I think it was with Will and Sprague, he even alluded to the "here comes the cheesy coach" speak. Lanning is one of those guys that won't give you a lot. So if you ask good questions, I do think Lanning will give you honest answers. But you know there's questions he won't. And if you do, he gives you cheesy coach speak. And let's be honest, I'm not taking shots at anyone. Dude, there's a lot of people in the media that ask cheesy cliche questions.
Oh, for sure. But I'm not I think that there's a difference between coach speak and cheesy cliches. And what I mean by that is he'll give you coach speak when he doesn't want to answer a question. All coaches do.
Yes.
Coach speak is just word salad that gets them through the question without answering it.
Yes.
Every coach does that. They do it for a lot of reasons. There are certain situations you just can't say much. Okay. I'm talking about like things like he said, it might be in this clip that we're going to play, but I don't think it is. He said his new one is, well, it's 1 + 1 + 1. You know, he's got things like this, meaning it's not just NIL.
Yeah.
It's NIL plus support from the program plus coaching. You know, and he's got like the rabbit. His big one now is the rabbit has the gun.
Yeah.
You know, like things like this. He's got a lot more of those now. He's
figured out a phrase or two that works and then adds to them. Now he's got a little arsenal to play with.
And that may be
kind
one
of
of those,
like watering the bamboo. Remember Chip Kelly with that whole thing?
Yeah.
And
there's a million of those. Hayes in the barn and
Yeah.
the game's one away from, the practice field and all that. Like, I think what happens is, because Lanning has become a pretty popular figure on the national level. Like, he does a lot of interviews now, way more than he used to. And I think, I just think for coaches that do a lot of these, it probably is easier to have a handful of go-to sayings that you can just pull out of your pocket and throw out there, as opposed to having to come up with something new every time and worry about saying something you don't want to say or having a Deshaun Foster moment where you just blank. So I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see as it goes
well,
along.
he's been working on it.
Yeah.
You can tell
Yeah.
he's thinking about these things. And they're really good because they explain what he's thinking very well.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's thought them out.
Sure.
So he's got a lot more of those now, which I think is great.
And I think that does make you come across a little more polished. Unless you use the same one over
Well,
again.
let's keep him honest in that regard.
Yeah, well, maybe okay.
Because he might.
We noticed a lot of 1 + 1 + 1. Might be time to come up with something new.
All right, so we'll get to that in a second. Poll question on X at 1080 the fan. Yesterday we asked you who is the most overrated Big Ten football coach. Lincoln Riley wins at 45%. Man, no love for that guy.
How quick the tide turns.
I don't get
on
it.
That.
I really don't. I mean,
He's had one
that guy's
sketchy year.
He
That's
is
it.
a really good coach.
Yes.
And I think that, quite honestly, if he fails at USC, to me, it's more of an indictment on USC than it is Lincoln Riley, because that guy has won and won big everywhere he's gone, and then all of a sudden he goes to USC and fails. Interesting. I think USC is a sneaky, too many cooks in the kitchen, bad job. Now, I'm not calling it a bad job. I just mean, you know what I mean. It's not as
we have
blue bloody as everyone thinks.
We have always said, and most of us, we, the editorial have always said that USC is like a top 5 job. And I'm with you. I'm not certain that it is. It's a really good job. But yeah, I think there's downsides to it, and maybe we're seeing some of that. But it's crazy to think that USC is going into the Big Ten and they are the definition of an afterthought. And I just said, like, be careful. Lincoln Riley, if they get the defense right, they are going to be fine. And it sure sounds like they're attempting to get the defense right, and they're not just burying their head in the sand. Problem is their schedule is just murderous.
PJ Fleck, 25%.
Hey, PJ Fleck, by the way, now best friends with Dan Lanning.
Oh, why?
You didn't hear any of that?
Uh-uh.
PJ Fleck on his press comments was very, very complimentary of Dan Lanning, and Dan Lanning on PJ Fleck. I guess they've been bumming around and
what?
Yeah, a lot of positive energy coming from those two.
Oh no,
there's a bromance going on.
If you surround yourself with turds, you're headed towards turd.
Speaking of a guy that loves cliches,
that is a man that does not surround himself with turds.
No.
And he is not headed towards Turdville, hanging around Dan Lanning.
Yeah, Lanning and PJ Fleck.
Boy, that's
both
interesting.
Loved them some one another.
Does that make you? Do you kind of go, oh, Dan?
Oh,
Dan.
I think like
Dan, of all the Big Ten coaches, who do you think he would be buddies with? I wouldn't have picked Fleck.
It turns out it's PJ Fleck.
I would have picked.
Well, I don't think you're going to be friends with any of the big rivals. I think PJ is one of those guys that you don't feel threatened by, and I think he just Dan Lanning just seems. You want to talk about rabbit? That dude's just an Energizer bunny and just goes. And I think when you're obsessed like that. PJ Fleck is one of those guys, and so I think those dudes flock together. It's like guys that do CrossFit.
Right. It's
you ever find CrossFit guy? I promise you, he's hanging around 9 other CrossFit bros.
It's like two dudes who finally come across another person who gets it the way they do.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, do you not like sleeping too and thinking nonstop about everything? And PJ Fleck's like, yep.
Yes.
Did we just become best friends? Yep. Yeah, it's one
We're
of those.
We're the two best friends that anyone could have. So today's poll. Oh, wait, sorry. Who's the most overrated Who's the most overrated Big Ten football coach? Lincoln Riley, 45%. PJ Fleck, 25%. James Franklin, 19%. Ryan Day, 11%. Today's poll question is as follows. It is up there for you on X. Oregon plays Oregon State, UCLA, Purdue, Michigan, and Wisconsin on the road. What will be their record? 5-0, 4-1, 3-2. 2-3 or worse.
4-1.
Vote and vote hard.
Michigan or Wisconsin, one of them.
Go Beavers! How about that?
One of them will get them.
So they'll drop one.
They'll drop one.
Okay.
But they're not. No offense, but to any of those other schools, they're not losing to anyone else.
Okay.
The two ones that are potential upsets are Michigan and Wisconsin. And you figure, course of a long season, weird things happen, and those are tough places to go play. It's the big house in Camp Randall. That's not exactly a cakewalk. And by the way, both those teams should be pretty good. But isn't it weird to say that from a talent standpoint, Oregon is going to be better than both of those teams, probably by a significant margin?
And don't they know it?
Yes.
Oregon. Vote hard. Okay, so Dan Lanning was on the Pat McAfee show apparently at 4:45 this morning.
Ooh, gosh.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's very, very early.
And I think he was in studio with them.
I just saw a clip. He was in studio with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess Pat's an indie guy, so maybe he gets to do his stuff remote. I guess that makes it easier.
Well, I think Lanning landed there this morning and went straight to their studio and then to Big Ten Media Day.
That sounds
from
like
what
the
I
timeline,
understand.
yeah.
So
when you're Pat McAfee, those coaches will do those sorts of things for you. I mean, honestly, in the world of sports, that's a top 3 show to go on.
Yeah, I think it, and well, he's got the football cred.
Yeah.
But he's also got the
he's got a pretty young reach.
Yeah, he's got the fun vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that if I'm a coach, especially Lanning, I think I would like that more so than the Paul Feinbaum show or something like that. At any rate, Pat McAfee does need to shorten up his questions.
Well, that's not going to happen.
He's a rambling question guy.
Pat likes some Pat.
At any rate, do you want to hear Dan Lanning talking about Kirby Smart's jab?
I already know it, but let's hear it again.
Oh, okay, let's hear it again.
We don't have that yet. I think it's impressive that, guys like Kirby have been signing the #1 class in the nation without, any NIL money this entire time. So impressive. No. Hey, obviously, Coach Smart took a little shot at us. I don't think it's a serious. If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better have great support. We have that, but it's not. It's 1 + 1 + 1, right? It's also the 34 or 300 teams that we went to this spring to visit. It's the 23 satellite camps. It's when they come to your campus. It's our staff. It's our alignment with our entire university that makes recruiting work.
See, 1 + 1 + 1.
1 + 1 + 1 is what? I don't know.
3.
Oh, it's like Kansas.
See, it's
math.
more than just one in just NIL.
I see.
And
where
he's right
going
though.
with this.
I'm glad he said that because
we've talked about this.
It's absurd that
yeah.
Kirby Smart, dude. Like I said, it's one thing if it's the Oregon State coach crying about it. It's another if it's Kirby Smart. You've won 2 national championships. You have a top 5 recruiting class every year.
You beat Oregon 49-3 2 years ago. For
Shut
God's
up.
sakes, let it go.
So I'm glad Lanning called him out on that.
Well, and they've got a good relationship, so you could tell there was some tongue-in-cheek stuff there too. So that's kind of the fun part too, is that there's no bad blood there between Lanning and Kirby. It's just like, hey, you took a shot, and we'll kind of take one back.
Well, I'm kind of hoping it turns into bad blood, and they start to hate each other.
That would be I think tough.
Great.
You'd have to see each other a lot in the playoff for that to happen. Lanning doesn't seem like a super bitter, hateful guy.
Well, no, because you know what? Another thing that is because I heard him with Dirt and Sprague this morning, or Will and Sprague, and he was very big on that. He kind of insulted Sprague and us.
Oh yeah, I do. I know. What you're
he
talking
basically
about.
just said everything you talk about.
I don't care.
I don't. It sucks. No one cares. It's like because his point was
inconsequential.
It does not matter to wins and losses.
Yes.
That guy only cares about what matters to wins and losses. And if he were to fight Kirby Smart, it would not matter to wins and losses. Therefore, he doesn't care.
That's a good point. Plus, I don't know, dude. Kirby's scrappy. Kirby was an all SEC safety. I know he's put on a few pounds and is a little older, but I don't know.
I'd take Lanning.
I bet you Kirby could scrap a little bit.
I'd take Lanning. So we have more Lanning audio, which we'll play for you next. But first, Buck with SportsCenter.
This is a Big Ten Media
All right, Big Ten Media Days on the Fan are brought to you in part by Mods PDX. The future of building is here. Big Ten Media Day has wrapped up, but we are covering a little bit of what Oregon's coach had to say today. Dan Lanning, our friend, was out there in Indy, and you heard him on the Pat McAfee show this morning, bright and early. And now we will play for you his opening statement at the podium. I think a little better than Deshaun Foster.
Just a scooch.
But I'm not sure. Let's take a listen.
Ultimately, what should the Big Ten know about Oregon? That we're mighty different. Mighty different in a lot of ways. You look out there in the pond, you'll see a big old duck. I'm hoping we get to travel that duck to all of our away games this year. Right? We're mighty different when it comes to the jerseys you might see us wear or the facilities that we get to be in. And we're innovative. And we've always been on the cutting edge of everything we do. We're certainly positioning ourselves to be in the cutting edge. And we're grateful for the opportunity to compete in the Big Ten. Excited about this opportunity in front of us and excited to see what this team does. It's a brand new team. It's not the same new team as last year. You know, on our team right now, there's 10 players that were on this team when I first got here. So you're talking about a new group. And these guys have completely bought in. Excited to see them perform. I know they're anxious to get on the field, but there's a lot of work between now and then before we do that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, slightly different than.
It's exciting.
Well, clearly, because
it's not a pond, though. It's a river.
That is true. Although maybe the whole duck pond thing.
Ducks on the pond.
Right.
You know. Either way, I do hope they bring the giant inflatable duck. That would be hilarious.
Maybe he's just trying to get under people's skin by calling it a pond, and he knows they'll get mad about it.
Right.
Is anyone passionate about the White River in Indianapolis?
Probably somebody gets uppity about it.
Did you know that it was the White River? Because I didn't.
No, I just when I saw the previous to this.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No,
if I said to you what river runs through downtown Indianapolis,
I don't know.
What would you have said?
I would have said the Indianapolis River.
I would have said the Indiana River.
I would have said the Missouri River.
The Missouri River. Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't even know. I guess that just popped into my head because I saw the clip or the photo and it said the duck's in the White River, and I wasn't even certain when I said White River that I was correct. I was like, I think that's what it was, but you know how I feel about the whites. I love it. But yeah, put that thing on Lake Michigan, bring that thing up into Ann Arbor. Let's go. Just bring that big, you got that semi that has to roll out there. You deflate that thing, roll it up and take it on the road. But yeah, I think they asked every coach. I've listened to enough of these little tidbits of the Big Ten coaches. I think they asked the 4 new coaches to say a little something about themselves because Lincoln Riley did it. Yeah. Did you hear Jed Fish's?
No. What did he say?
Do you have Fish's?
Let me look. I probably do.
Yeah. Well, because it was basically say kind of something about your school. He said, hey, we're innovative, all that.
Deshaun Foster thought to tell everyone that UCLA was in L.A.
And so is USC. And then just froze. Then he just Biden or McConnell on stage. No, Jed Fish's was slightly better. I'll see if Buck can pull it off. If not, I'll tell you.
I don't have it now, but I can pull it for a later segment.
Jed Fish, when talking about his school and what is different about UW, he did say they beat Oregon three times in a row, which I thought was great. Because no one's talking about. I
would have used that too.
Yeah, no one's talking about UW, and they have every right. I hear this all the time from Husky fan, and they have every right to say this because no one talks about UW. No one talked about UW last year. Everyone just sits there and bloviates over Oregon, and UW is sitting there being like, what do you want? We beat you 3 times in the last 2 years. So I thought it was kind of funny that the Jed Fish took his little podium shot and was like, yeah, something about us. We beat Oregon 3 years in a row. And by the way, we're pretty good up in Seattle as well. And no one's talking. I mean, you don't think anyone's talking about USC. No one's talking about UW. And then UCLA. I mean, my God, the only thing anyone's saying about UCLA is Deshaun Foster can't be in front of a microphone.
Yeah, it's funny how narratives change, right? With Washington, it was DeBoer left, cupboard bear, mess.
Yeah.
But then they hire Fish, and he kind of stabilizes things, and they get the quarterback because they have Rodgers coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think people now are like, well, watch out for Washington. 3 months ago, it was, they're effed.
Yeah.
Same thing with Michigan. It was like Harbaugh is leaving. They just won the title.
18 players leave.
Yeah. But now everybody's like, whoa, watch out for Michigan. I mean, it's just, come on, man.
Well,
who knows?
It's one of those
and
things.
And USC is another one. It's
USC
like everybody's crapping on them now. Yeah. It's like.
Yeah, they won 11 games 2 years ago, and last year, it didn't go well. The defense completely fell apart. We had Caleb Williams crying, and now USC sucks, and Lincoln Riley can't coach, and he's on a hot seat. I would also point out it's the same group of jackasses that think that Ryan Day's job could be in trouble, even though he's 58 and think he's 58-8 and has played for a national title, but he sucks now. You know, Dabo, who's won 2 national titles, he sucks. He can't coach. You know, the truth of the matter is there is no staying power in college football. In sports in general, no one gives a damn what you've done. You know, Bill Belichick, again, is the greatest coach of all time, and Bill couldn't sniff a job. It's what have you done for me lately? And we've moved on to the next thing. And whether it's accurate or not, the next thing right now is Oregon and Ohio State. Outside of that, everything else in the Big Ten, how about being Michigan? You've beat Ohio State 3 years in a row. You just won a national title. And Michigan is a bit of an afterthought because all anyone's talking about is
same spot as Washington.
Is Washington.
Just beat Oregon twice.
Yeah.
Or is it
3 times?
Is it 3 in a row?
Yep, 3 in a row.
And then played in the national title game.
And everyone's like,
But we're like, yeah.
Yeah, but what about Oregon?
What about Dan Lanning? Dan Lanning's a lot better at press conferences than he is at beating Washington.
That is true. He wins a lot of press conferences.
That's undeniable.
He hasn't won a lot of UW games.
Undeniable.
So, and Fish, Jed Fish will mix it up too. Although I thought it was interesting, Jonah Coleman, their running back, said that he was talking about Fish and how he's the greatest guy in the world, and it was a no-brainer. He said that as soon as Fish landed at UW, everyone that helped build what happened down in Arizona last year went with him. And I was like, your quarterback and then McMillan, the best 2 players on the team, they didn't come.
Yeah, maybe the most 2 important players to improving that program with Fish stayed.
I was like, yeah. So,
you mean they stayed at Arizona?
Yeah. Yeah, he said anyone that mattered, because he brought most of the coaches, he brought the strength conditioning staff, brought a bunch of players from Arizona, and so the stud running back, and he's really, really good if you watched Arizona play last year. But yeah, I thought it was a little short-sighted when he said everyone that helped build this left and came up to UW. And I was like, yeah, there might be 2 guys.
What's that guy's name?
Fafita? Noah Fafita?
Noah Fafita?
Yeah.
The Arizona quarterback?
Yeah. Because everyone thought he would leave. But
not everyone. I didn't. You didn't ask me what I thought.
I didn't ask you. Sorry. Most people thought that he would be the first one to
I tell you what, man.
The first one to go. But there was some Arizona booster. I forget who it was, but they were like their main booster. He was the one that got all pissy and said, Fish can basically go to hell and he's the worst dude in the world. And he came out and said, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that our star players don't go. And I guess, the rumor is that he just threw a ton of money at T-Mac, the wide receiver, and then Fafita, the quarterback, and he got them both to stay because everyone assumed that running back, quarterback, receiver were all heading up north, and Arizona kept 2 of the 3.
Well, these off-season narratives are pretty nauseating, but it is good to be back talking about college football. Maybe we just let them, let's let camp happen and let them lace them up and play a few games before we that
big Idaho game.
Well, that's another thing Dan Lanning said. He said the most important game on our schedule.
Oh God, I hate that. I know, I heard that, and it's just,
Idaho.
No, it's not, Dan.
That was Chip's old thing too. He said every week is our Super Bowl.
Yeah,
where we're preparing for Super Bowl every week.
Idaho is not your Super Bowl, nor is Boise State.
And then he said, "I don't know if Idaho is going to become a rival, but
I think I hope that was a joke because they were talking about Ohio State.
I do. One thing I will say is I think that, and I don't know if this is true of the Big Ten coaches. They seem a little more buttoned up. I know the SEC coaches are. Yeah. But I feel like the Pac-12 coaches right now, they're willing to say some stuff. Like you said, Fish will mix it up. Lanning certainly does. Lincoln Riley, that guy is not afraid to. Like today he was talking about getting rid of the Notre Dame rivalry, and that, of course, is going to ruffle some feathers. I mean, he's been known to just say what he thinks. I just like that coaches are being less coach-speaky, even though they're still very coach-speaky these days, Yeah.
Well, and
I like that.
Yeah, I'm with you because
it's interesting.
It's interesting.
Lanning, say what you will about Oregon, and there's a lot to say about Oregon. He's not shy, man. He's out there stirring it up. Yeah. Rabbit has the gun, all this stuff.
That big
taking shots back at Kirby.
Taking shots at Idaho. That big rivalry game against Idaho.
Hey, that's the most important game on the schedule.
That may be my most.
Well, it is. He's got to say that.
I know, but if you had to say my most, because you were talking coach speak earlier, my biggest coach roll, eye roll is, I don't know. It's one of 2 things. Everyone has to earn their job, and all players are the same. That one drives me crazy because
competition everywhere.
No, it's not true. and the every game is the same. That the Idaho game is the same as the Boise State game, is the same as the Oregon State game, and then Michigan State, and then Ohio State. No, it's not. Stop it. Stop it.
But you get why they say that, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but
They have to.
USC,
They have to keep their guys focused on the task at hand.
Oregon's first game is at home against Idaho.
The Vandals.
USC's first game
It's a big one.
is in Vegas against LSU.
Cool.
Those are different.
That's a cool game.
That is a cool game. But that's why Lincoln Riley's like, hey, maybe we should reconsider Notre Dame.
Well, he did say he likes the way Alabama schedules.
I mean, it makes sense. Although, to be fair to Alabama
played some teams.
almost every year plays one.
Yeah.
Usually,
He said that. He
Yeah.
said, "I like the way Alabama schedules. You know, they're going to Wisconsin this year. They're not afraid, but at the same time, the other two games are cupcakes."
Well, if you're scheduling, and this is where I'll buy into it. If you're scheduling LSU, and yes, neutral site, whatever, Vegas, I don't care where that game is. If you schedule LSU to start the season, you know what shouldn't be November 30th? Notre Dame. Just shouldn't. I mean, that's if you are trying to set yourself up for success, that is a terrible way to go about setting yourself up for success.
All right, we continue next. I've got two things for you. I don't know if we can get them all in one seggy, but
We'll see what we can do.
who are the real college football blue bloods?
Yeah.
And tomorrow, the opening ceremonies at the Olympic Games.
Mhm.
You excited about that, Jace?
No.
Fired up?
No, not really.
I'm fired up. I love the Olympics.
I watched some Olympic rugby.
We have Oregon, Southwest Washington athletes to know
Ooh. Hey, and you know
in
what?
Paris.
You better bring your A game next segment, because guess what?
What?
This spot, it's not guaranteed. You have to earn this spot
Always
every
competing.
segment.
Always competing.
Schultze and Ortner are coming for you.
Always
Also, the
competing.
Olympics are the next thing, so they are our Super Bowl.
That's right.
That's true. Yes.
This next segment is my Super Bowl.
Yes. Tell the next
And
one.
I treat every segment like that. It is 3:49 on the Fan.
How's your t-shirt game set up?
Baseball note, we had a no-hitter today.
Yeah, I saw that.
The great Dylan Cease of the Padres, my Padres.
They must have played pretty early.
Yeah, they started at 9.
Yeah, it was like
East Coast day game on a getaway day.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was like a 12:35 start there. So it was like 9 a.m.
it
here.
threw me for a loop when I saw the perfect game. I was like,
Well, no, it was a
or
no-hitter.
no hitter. Sorry. When I saw that, I saw it on Twitter, and I saw it relatively early, and I thought, was that yesterday? Because I'm like, I didn't see that yesterday, and then it threw me because it was such an early game.
He no-hit the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
Just the second no-hitter in Padres history.
Who had the first no hitter in Padres history?
Oh, that's a good trivia question.
Anybody?
You want to take a stab? I know who it is because I saw it today, but they hadn't had one for years. You remember that, right? Like, they had never had one in their history until a couple of years ago.
Just a couple years ago, huh? So
Correct.
a modern guy. I'm trying to think. Was Darvish maybe?
That's a good guess. It was Joe Musgrove.
Oh man, I would not
screw
have got that.
guy. That
Yeah.
guy's a douche.
Is he? Why?
I got into it with the Mets the year that the Padres and it was,
He's a little high T.
Yeah, he's a little.
Yeah.
He needs some of that Rob 33% less tea.
36.4.
That guy's
I've changed the number.
okay. We're working on it. Can I also point out my Mets?
You may.
who are the daddy of
What'd they
the
do?
New York Yankees.
They win again today?
Oh, they bitch slapped him yesterday.
Yeah, I hate the Yankees.
Yeah, they're done. They're moving on to the Braves. Now we get to bitch slap the Braves. Let's go.
Did you hear what Severino said? He pitches for the Mets.
What did he say?
He said the Yankees only have 2 good hitters.
Oh, I'm assuming he's talking about Soto and that other big Frankenstein-looking dude.
Aaron Judge.
You think?
Yeah, I would think. That's it. 2 good hitters.
That's what he said.
All right, well, hey.
And that ruffled a lot of Yankee
I
feathers, but
get
he's
him-
not wrong. Look at the rest of their lineup. Not very good.
Well, all I know is the Mets right now are cruising and they're slapping around the Yankees.
Your boy Severino talking some mess. What do you think about that?
I think he pitches.
Talking with his helmet.
You wear a helmet out there on the mound, like a John Overwood sort of thing. He's pitching tonight against the Braves.
Well, you did have that guy on the Mets for a while that wore like the Mario hat. Remember that dude?
Yeah, I do remember that, which is just odd, but. Well, it's gonna be weird too. Like they say that now in the NFL, they're giving them the option to wear the little great kazoo, the soft cap,
Yeah.
on top of that. So that'll be strange if anyone actually decides to do it.
All right, who are the real blue bloods of college football? We will make Sook guess.
Okay.
Coming up next.
Who picked the real blue bloods?
Well, I'll tell you.
A formula.
It is 3:55 on the Fan. Yeah, football season's here, sort of. I mean, kind of. We got the media days, so that's over.
Oh, NFL camps are all, everyone's in camp. So
we had our first big injury today.
Yeah, those are coming. And
Yep.
It wasn't huge or anything, but, you lost your starter.
Well, the Rams,
Yeah.
Darian Kendrick, starting corner, torn ACL, they think.
Yep. So, and believe me, that's not that's the first, but it ain't going to be the last. I mean, that's the thing about football is, dude, the injury rate's 100%. It's just a matter of how severe it is. Cousins got cleared today, so he's back in there. Some people thought, would he be ready to go, and would that be Penix's job at the beginning? But it sounds like Kirker's early on is getting the all clear to go back to practice. Then you got some hold-ins, right? Ayuk is in camp but isn't doing anything. Tua said that he'll do 7-on-7 but not 11-on-11, so he's got like a partial hold-in going on. And then I also saw today that there is some rumors that old Brock Purdy could be signing his deal soon to the tune of about $65 per year.
Damn, really?
Yeah. Which, I look, if you're the 49ers, I understand now you got to pay him, but this goes back to you got to pull an Atlanta Braves thing with some of these guys like Jordan Love and Brock Purdy. Pay them before they know they're good. Because, I mean...
Yeah, but why would you do that in the NFL?
And also, are you still going to have money for Ayuk? Because that's and what you give Purdy, is that going to tick him off? So,
well, I wonder, the deal the Packers did with Jordan Love. They gave him a little kind of bridge deal, and now obviously he's in line for a lot more. Like you see some of these quarterback contracts, like the Derek Carr one, where
what's he making?
I'll have to pull it up, but essentially, or Geno Smith, they give them like in the 30s or like low 40s, but they're basically 1 and 2 year deals. Like I'd like to if you've got a guy like Tua or Brock, and you needed to have done this a year ago, sign him to something like that. I know that the model in the NFL is get every game you can when they're dirt cheap. I just wonder if there's a way with some of these guys you're not 100% sure of that you can give them a good chunk of change, have it not be something that you're tied to for 5 years, but get some cost control as opposed to going from, hey, dirt cheap for 3 years, 4 years, and then, my God, here's $65 million.
I think in the case of Brock Purdy, that would have been a hard thing to do because he was Mr. Irrelevant. Like, he was a 7th-round pick.
Yeah.
So you're not going to pay him anything until you know you've got something.
Yeah.
And then he was instant. Like, the second he was in there, he was good.
He was good.
And so I don't think there was any real...
there almost wasn't time to do it.
There was no window for them to do that. Now, Tua's different because I think Tua is borderline, or at least at one point was thought of as borderline.
His was an injury thing.
And so maybe you can go to the agent and say, he may not be here in 2 years. Let's get him on a lesser deal now, and maybe you could get them to agree to that. But any quarterback that has any level of success, like Jordan Love or Purdy,
well, look what happened with Daniel Jones, right?
Those guys are going to they're going to hold out. They're not going to sign those lesser deals. You have to find the guys that are.
I just wondered
maybe they know they're lucky to get that offer at that time.
I just wonder if you're the 49ers. And again, hindsight, but that it was Bill Barnwell, by the way, who's saying that he thinks the numbers could be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 years, 325. That's 65 per year. If you would have come to Purdy after early on last season and just said, "Hey, we're going to give you 5 years, we're going to give you 36 a year. You make no money now, and we're not certain. You're coming off the elbow or whatever, but we believe in you. It's 36 a year." And it's a 5-year deal, but basically, you have outs after 2 years. And that's like kind of the Daniel Jones, Geno Smith things. I wonder if he signs that. I wonder if you go to him, because at that point, he has proven really nothing other than the 1 year that ended on an injury, as opposed to making him play out that year. He has a great year, damn near an MVP season. And now you're going into this year with him saying, "Hey man, I want my money, and it ain't gonna be 38. It's gonna start with a 6."
See, I just don't think the agent lets him sign that deal.
Yeah.
Even after that 1 year.
Yeah.
He's like,
you may be right.
Because Purdy goes to him, he's like, "No, dude, I'm lighting it up.
Yeah.
I got hurt, but I'll be back."
Yeah. The 2-1 is interesting because that's.
He is interesting.
I will, because when he's healthy, that offense hums, and he puts up MVP like numbers, but. You want to talk about injury concerns, and then there's a lot of people that think he's a product of the system and he's got great talent around him. And, Tua's gonna want high 50s, low 60s. So there's just a lot of these guys, from Jordan Love to Purdy to Tua. And then, of course, no one will shut up about it, but there's Dak down there in Dallas, who's the most proven of any of these guys. But people still don't think he's worth it. There are going to be some big, big quarterback numbers.
Isn't Goff supposed to get an extension too?
I thought he got his extension.
Thought he was maybe.
Yeah, I thought he got paid.
I think he got paid.
All right. So Tua, Love, Dak, Purdy. Is that it? That's up now?
I think that's it. That are in, that
Those are the next 4?
that need to get something done.
Oh, sorry, Hawk Tua.
Yeah, 4 years, 212, 170 million guaranteed for Goff.
Who?
Jared Goff. And he'll be there through 2027.
Golf.
And an option for 28. So yeah, he got his.
All right, who are the real blue bloods of college football? This is a game for you.
Okay.
I thought this was cool. Buck found this and forwarded it over to me. It said it's by some guy by the name of Kyle. I don't know. He has sunglasses on. I don't know. But he did a little homework, and he put together the top 50 college football programs based on the following: wins, weeks ranked number 1, conference titles, bowl wins, major bowl wins, national titles, postseason awards, which is NCAA national awards, consensus and unanimous All-Americans, Heisman winners, and runners-up.
Makes sense. So Outland Trophy, Nagurski Award, Heisman Trophy, all that stuff.
Professional achievements, including College Football Hall of Famers, NFL draft picks, and first-round picks. He weighed every single one of these 14.
Is it shocking that someone has this much time to go through this?
Shocking, no, but I like it.
A couple weeks ago, I read through an article. Someone went and broke down in way too much detail every kickoff from the XFL and UFL, and it was, I just couldn't believe it. It was actually kind of an interesting thing they did about where the ball lands and average starting position, all that. But dude, it was like 700 kickoffs this dude sifted through.
There are probably special teams. Do you think every special teams coach has watched all 700?
Yes.
I bet most of them have.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
That's their job.
But again, this was just some dude.
Yeah, not just internet Twitter guy.
I was like, oh my God. And yet I read the article.
Maybe a little unemployed there.
I guess. Either that or just obsessive compulsive. Get a girlfriend, my man.
So then they weigh, he weighs each one. It's a different weight. So he weighs championships as the number 1 thing times 3.
Makes sense.
Wins are times 1. Looks like AP weeks ranked is 1.25, and so on and so forth.
One quick question from the text line, Vancouver 4 text line. Do we know, is major bowl wins what's considered major? Is that like New Year's 6 and BCS, or do we know?
Does not say that. I think
it would stand to reason it's a certain degree of bowl like that. But.
Yeah, I mean, New Year's 6 bowls. I mean, come on. We all know what the major bowls are, right?
Yeah, winning the Weed Eater Independence Bowl is not a major bowl, but yeah, New Year's 6 that's major bowl.
He put together the top 50 schools.
Can I now? And maybe he doesn't answer this, but is there a difference between like current blue bloods and all-time blue bloods? Because I think there is.
This is his point. His point is, and this is all time.
Okay.
So he is saying, if you want to know who the real blue bloods are, this is my formula.
Okay.
So you may disagree with, like you could take out, I don't know, NFL draft picks if you wanted, or you could take out, but this is as comprehensive as it gets. Like we think of blue bloods. I mean, we all kind of can name blue bloods, but at the same time, is USC really a blue blood by this definition?
I was thinking more like Nebraska, because to me USC is 100% a blue blood.
Okay.
Nebraska, on the other hand,
I'm looking where they rank here.
Nebraska was the definition of a blue blood, but Nebraska has not been relevant, and I mean they have not been relevant in 20 years.
So that will take this into account because it's all time, right? So they're gonna it will take into account. They haven't had a lot of AP ranked weeks recently, but they had decades of them before. So it all just gets tossed into the formula to kind of spit out a number.
So by the way, USC, I got to double check this. Yeah, there they are. Okay. Anyway, I didn't see them at first, and I was terrified.
Sure.
But they are on the list. Okay, so these teams have won. So there are, by his formula, 8 teams qualify as blue bloods because they have won 53% of all AP national championships and have been ranked during 70% of the entire AP poll era.
Okay.
So if you're talking bloodlines, he says there are 8.
That makes sense. I would have said somewhere between 6 and 10. So are we guessing or are we coming back?
You
guessing?
are guessing.
Okay.
Because I know who they are.
Well, should we start guessing now or are we breaking and coming back and guessing?
I want you to guess right now.
Okay. Well, Alabama's number 1.
They are not.
They're not?
Nope.
We're at the hell out of town.
Nope.
Well, they should be because this list is stupid if it's not Alabama. Find me someone.
Well, again, this is not a subjective list.
It is subjective.
It is
It's
not
dumb.
at all. It's actually weighted with 14 different very good factors. So some of these might surprise you.
Well,
Actually.
Alabama's number 1, and otherwise this list is dumb.
They are third.
They're number 1. Ohio State will be.
They
on
are
there.
number 1.
Okay. So see, already this list is dumb because in what way? Oh, I'm guessing this is simply based on big bowl wins and All Americans.
Well, there's also a massive gap in Alabama's history where they weren't very good.
That's not true.
I mean,
it's just not true. That's false. Bear Bryant was relevant all the way through the 80s, and then through the 80s.
but between Bear Bryant and Saban, they weren't great.
No, they weren't great, but they still won. They still won and still won a national championship. Alabama has never had stretches for long periods where they have been irrelevant. And how many national championships does Ohio State have? I'm looking here. They got 8. So that's a lot, right? They got 8 national championships. And
Claimed.
Yeah,
Because, there's this whole thing about.
yeah, Alabama has 18. I'm sorry, that's a stupid argument. It's just dumb.
Well, they're third, and
Alabama
Ohio
has
State.
a ridiculous amount of everything, and 18. So any list that has a team that won 8, claimed by the way, and the other one has 18. Sorry. So Ohio State,
They're 1.
Alabama,
3.
Notre Dame's probably there.
They are number 2.
Okay, there
You
you
have
go.
nailed the top 3.
Boom. Even though it's in dumb order, so it should be Alabama. Who else will be on there?
Do you think it should be Alabama over Ohio State at all? I was
Oklahoma?
wondering if you thought that.
Oklahoma will be on there.
Number 4.
Ooh, okay, we're going in line. Boy, I wonder, would Miami? Or am I getting a little too one era bias?
16th.
16th. Yeah, that seemed like a bit of a stretch. Well, I would have said USC would be up there, but you kind of sounded like they were falling way down.
No, I just didn't see them on the list.
Okay.
They are number 6.
Okay, so I'm missing 5?
You're missing 5, 7, and 8
5, 7, and 8.
that they claim are actual blue bloods.
God. Again, this is a team that it's been good recently, but I don't think the history is quite there. It's not LSU, right?
LSU, number 11.
Okay. Who am I missing? Oh, the winningest Michigan.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Michigan.
And so I'm missing
7 and 8.
I'm missing 7 and 8.
So you got Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Oklahoma, Michigan, USC.
It's not going to be. I'll throw it out there, but I think is it Nebraska?
Yes, it is Nebraska.
Get right the hell out of town.
They are number 8.
That one's kind of like, holy hell. Did I say Texas?
I don't think so. Are you saying
I'll
Texas?
say Texas.
Yes, that is number 7.
Okay.
So by this formula, those are the 8 college football blue bloods of all time.
Does it tell you something too that it wasn't that hard to come up with?
I think the only one that would have thrown somebody off is Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah,
And that
if
is
you
true.
were-
I kind of just took a stab in the dark at that.
Well, if you're younger, you probably don't have the respect for them that.
No.
I mean, you and I were old enough to remember how awesome they were.
Well, see, that throws me because when I said Miami, if you would have asked me which one was, what were they? Were they 6 or 7?
Who?
Nebraska.
8.
Oh, they were 8. And I guess Miami, you said Miami was 16. If you would have asked me, one of those is 8, one of those was 16, I would have put Miami at 8 and Nebraska at 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like, I mean, I just was thinking of kind of big national teams in my lifetime, and I would have had those. Flipped. Is Florida State?
They are at 17. Number 9 is Penn State. Little better than I think many would think.
Boy, I wouldn't have put Penn State there either.
And 10 is Georgia. So those are your top 10.
Huh, okay.
Now, when we come back, I think it's interesting to look further down the list. Where are Oregon and Washington? Are there other Pac-12, former Pac-12 schools on the list?
I want to know where one school ranks too. There's one that I'm interested in.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that next. It's 4:16 on the Fan.
Thanks to our fan listeners.
We're going through a blue blood formula, blue blood score list from Kyle.
Casamaras.
What? I don't know. His name's Umlang. Kyle Umlang.
That was the first thing that came into my mind for whatever
But
reason.
I like Kyle Casamaras.
Casamaras is a great name.
Let's go with that.
Kyle Casamaras. Okay, so a team's blue blood score is comprised of a mix of regular season achievements, wins, weeks ranked number 1, conference titles, bowl wins, major bowl wins, and national titles. You also have postseason awards, which is NCAA national awards, consensus and unanimous All-Americans, Heisman winners and runners-up, and then professional achievements, which are Hall of Famers, NFL draft picks, and first-round picks. He weighted them all differently. To your point about the Alabama-Ohio State thing, he did weigh championships times 3. That is the most weighted. In other words, like that's the most important thing of his formula here. There are 14 factors, and he has spit out the top 50 college football blue bloods. This is all time. So you guessed the top 8: Ohio State 1, Notre Dame 2, Alabama 3, Oklahoma 4, Michigan, USC, Texas, and Nebraska.
Yeah.
Now, I also think it's interesting to look at where some other schools, like, for example, Oregon, might rank.
Yeah.
Any guesses? Have you seen the list yet?
I
Did you pull it up?
I have not pulled up the list.
Kyle Casamaras list.
I looked up the most national championships.
And who Alabama has the most? Who has the second most?
Yale.
Well, okay, but look, I don't want to discredit Yale, but let's discredit Yale. Like, who of the modern blue bloods has the second most?
It's Michigan. I'm looking at the list. Based on the blue bloods
How
they
many
have, it doesn't say how many.
Well, I mean, again, some of this is screwy because it's claimed. So it's either Notre Dame or Michigan. But some of those are from like 1901.
What a dumb sport that we can't even agree on how many championships a team has.
Like Michigan claims 1901, 02, 03, 04, and then 1919, 1923, 1933. And then you get into some stuff that at least in the 40s, like it's reasonable. Michigan has 2 modern day national titles in 1997 and 2023. So like by that definition, I would tend to go with, I would say USC. USC has 9. And they have a couple in the 30s. They have 31 and 32, but then all of the other ones, 62, 67, 72, 74, 78, 03, 04. So, I mean, I tend to lean towards that. But Notre Dame has 13. And again, all that stuff was their last one was 1988. So, you know, it depends. But Alabama laps everybody as far as meaningful national championships.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear looking at the formula that the national championships aren't weighted enough.
Yeah.
So where do you think Oregon ranks?
So they don't have a national title. They only have 1 Heisman Trophy. They have won some other awards. I mean, they got a couple Outland Awards, and they've won a lot of games.
They've been ranked a lot of wins.
Yeah. We always see that like the last 20 years, most wins. Oregon's in the top 5. I'm gonna say they're Miami was 16th, right?
Miami was 16th. Yes.
They're nowhere near Miami. So, and they don't have a lot of first round picks. I'm gonna say Oregon's like 26th.
29th.
Okay.
They are sandwiched right in between the juggernaut Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and West Virginia Mountaineers.
I would have put them like by Virginia Tech. When I think about Oregon, like if I would say historically, I'd say Virginia Tech. Where's Tech?
They are 33rd.
Okay.
So very close.
Ballpark,
close.
definitely.
Yeah. Oregon, some other peers for Oregon. Colorado is 26.
Okay.
Stanford is 27. Ole Miss is 31. Minnesota, 32. They were good back in the day, though.
Minnesota has when I was looking at the list of national titles, I think Minnesota has like 7.
Yeah. They used to be good.
Yeah, they got 6. So, yeah, the Golden Gophers, man.
Now, does Washington rank higher or lower than Oregon?
Higher. Oregon, if Oregon is 29, Washington will be 23.
They are 19th.
Oh, okay.
Right in between Texas A&M and UCLA.
Ah, the mighty Bruins.
Yeah.
Boy,
Bruins rank 20th.
Boy, how the mighty have fallen.
How about that?
Oh, you know UW fans gonna love that one though. Right in the craw of Oregon.
Arizona State 36, Cal 40, your BYU Cougars 43.
Did you mention who's just ahead of Oregon?
Can we also
besides Georgia Tech?
Stanford and Colorado?
Yes, Stanford and Colorado.
I did.
Okay.
Well, Stanford's
attention.
a little weird. Colorado Colorado was good. I mean, they won a national title, and Colorado had two runs where they were quite good. They just fell on irrelevancy recently.
Oh, they're relevant, baby.
Utah 46.
The Stanford one is weird because I don't know a lot about because Elway was there. They were bad. God, they were outside.
They were
of
miserable for a lot of years.
Yeah, and Ty Willingham did a nice job there. They went to a couple Rose Bowls, and then Harbaugh and Shaw. Stanford's another one.
They
have the 7th most college football Hall of Famers. Stanford does.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players, and I'm looking through their history.
Yeah, it's better than you think.
Yeah, they're pretty consistently ranked.
Huh. I would have had we been doing this list. I would have had Stanford much lower. I mean, and I'm saying they don't belong there. I would have guessed that they would have been much lower. I don't think of Stanford as a blue blood at all.
Oregon State not on the list.
And yes, to those that are getting ready to chime in, BYU does have the worst modern day national championship in history. We can fully admit that. Just don't tell BYU fan that. They get very.
You do have one.
We do. 1984. It's the worst national championship in modern history.
But you have one.
We have
It's
one.
not even one that's claimed. It is yours.
It is ours.
You guys.
We were the only undefeated team. We beat, I think, a 6 or a 7 win team, Michigan team in the Holiday Bowl. And they crowned BYU national champs. It would have been what was the year Central Florida went undefeated? It'd be like if we gave credit to Central Florida for being national champs. Or Boise State the year they beat Oklahoma. It'd be something like that. It's not good, but hey, they have the trophy up, and it is what it is.
So of all of these schools listed here, the top 18 all the way to Texas A&M, I mean, you would have guessed all of them. Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, LSU, they're all in there.
Yeah.
But I think of the most surprising on this list, the blue blood score, Washington being 19 might surprise some people. Michigan State is 21.
Huh.
And Pitt is 24.
I'll tell you this about Pitt. Now, I think they won a national title in the 70s. Am I wrong? Did they? Would you look that? They may have won one.
Checking.
But if they did not, if we are going on,
they have 9 claimed.
9.
They have
national.
9.
Well,
But there was one in 76, 1976.
Yeah, so they won 76. So I was right. I was like, God, I hope I'm not out in left field.
Hold on. It says they have 9 claimed national titles and 8 unclaimed national titles.
What?
They're just not claiming them?
Well,
2, yeah. They're
What the hell? 1980 and 1981.
they're those years. They're we probably were, but we just didn't check.
What does that even mean?
Well,
that's stupid.
Well, again, I think this was back in the day where you could just say that you were, Penn State had that one year with Paterno where they went undefeated and they weren't voted number 1, and Penn State's no, we're national champs. If you go undefeated, I think a lot of people or you have one loss and everyone else has one loss. I think back in the day you just raised your hand and said, hey, we're number 1, and then you bought rings and you moved on. I don't even know how that is possible. Yeah, unclaimed titles.
Kansas has a lot of unclaimed titles.
I guess. Can I just start claiming?
Pitt also has some of the sneakiest good NFL alumni
and that's
all
where
the time.
And that's where I was going with this.
Well, Marino and Dorsett.
Dorsett, Hugh Green, Revis,
Fitzgerald,
Aaron Darnold, Fitzgerald,
Mike Ditka,
Tony Dorsett. I mean, it is
Cody Pickett.
Oh, of course, the great Cody Pickett. They are.
Say Aaron Donald already?
Yeah, I mean they have a LaShawn McCoy. They have a sneaky FU all-time team, and also apparently a sneaky FU 9 national championships.
So if they just claim the unclaimed ones, they'd have 17.
Why didn't Oregon try to claim some back in the day, 1912? Why not?
I'm trying to look up and see what year
they were in the 30s.
The years that they claimed national championships, what was the
what was the deal?
What's the
Well,
deal?
what's the deal with that?
What?
There's blue blood talk for you. College football.
It's Division I football.
I believe, because as I was looking through this list, I think 1915, I think 7 teams claimed a national championship. Because when I was going through the list of like Harvard, Yale, Notre Dame, they're all like in that year they all claimed the national championship.
All right, up next, it's time for In the News.
By the way, the coach of that national title team for Pitt, care to take a guess?
Pat Narduzzi.
Pop Warner.
The Pop Warner?
Pop Warner. They ran the old double wing.
That 1915 Pitt national title was disputed because 4 other publications thought Cornell had the best team. So, Cornell.
What a world.
What a world.
Can you imagine sports talk call-in back then?
Well, I guess over the radio, that's what it had to be.
Yeah, see? Cornell's champion. See, I'll take your answer off the air.
Also, Minnesota and Oklahoma laid claims that year as well.
Told you.
Why not Oregon?
You'd have to ask somebody from back in 1915.
I feel like Oregon wasn't liberal enough with their claiming of titles.
It does seem a little.
You know?
No, because their rivalry with Oregon State goes back. It's one of the oldest in college football.
Yeah. Just claim them, man.
Yeah.
Who cares?
By the way, I'm still mildly confused. Like the year, I looked up the one of the 80 years, 81, that they claimed the national championship.
No, it was unclaimed.
Yeah, unclaimed, I guess. But they're saying, hey, national champions. They lost one game, but
wait. How can they say they're national champions when it's an unclaimed title?
Well, I think it's because they're doing it, but like no one else is giving them the credit for it.
So an unclaimed title means they've claimed it,
Yeah,
but no one else will give them
Yes.
credit.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this is
We had the
That's
best
not
team this year. No one else thinks so, but we are sure we did.
That's not confusing at all.
so they lost one game that year, and they lost to the national champion team, which was Penn State, and yet they say. And by the way,
Well, how can they just say that
they lost 48-14.
Then why do they claim this?
Because I think Penn State lost their bowl game, and Pitt didn't.
So then it was okay. So they value the shockingly they value the head-to-head loss less.
Penn State beat them 48-14.
Yeah, but that's not important.
That's
What's
not important.
important is that
Yes.
Penn State went to lose their bowl game and Pitt didn't.
So
Therefore, Pitt is the champ.
apparently no one else viewed it that way, but there you go. Hot claiming national championships.
All right, that's hot college football blue blood talk on the Fan. Let's go.
It's Division One
Let's go.
football.
In the news is next. I have Mermaid news to kick it off. It is 4:32. Here's Buck.
This is a Big Ten
All right, still to come, the Hot 5 at 5. Who will be the best paid athletes in 2024 and the last team to move to a Power 5 league and win it in their first year? Right now, though, it is July 25th, 2024. It's time for the news. I'm your Noted Newsman. Hello, thank you. Thank you so much. ITN today is brought to you by The Advocates. You need more than a lawyer. You deserve an advocate. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Catchy.
Today is National Wine and Cheese Day or National Chili Dog Day. Which would you prefer?
Wine and cheese.
I mean, that's not even close.
No, the chili dog is...
It's not even mid. It's awful.
Yeah,
It's kind of heinous.
It's heinous. That's right.
very...
That's a great word for it.
Very rarely. Now, I will say...
And I like chili, and I like hot dogs.
Yes.
But,
Well, I don't really know why we like hot dogs. Hot dogs are pretty gross, but they taste okay.
Yeah.
I just don't really understand why it's a thing. Maybe it's just because kids.
Well, but like you get into some of like the Italian sausages and whatnot. And,
Well, that's different.
Like cheddar brats. And,
That's different. I'm talking about just a hot dog.
yeah, the plain old hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's gross.
Costco hot dog rules.
Yeah, I will say that there is something to the Costco hot dog. It's better than Buck's $7 shorts.
Ooh, I have breaking news
Yeah,
on
we
that
do.
front.
Yeah, we do.
Would you like some breaking news?
Buck found the last pair of Glacier sport shorts,
So yesterday we were talking about Buck's $6.99 Costco shorts.
which apparently he's just over the moon about.
He got a text from his wife, who is today shopping at Costco, and has picked him up a new pair of $6 Costco shorts.
You shaved a buck off that.
And
bad
these
boy.
indeed
No,
are.
same price. They're both $6.99.
Oh, I thought you said $6.
Well, I called the other ones my $7 shorts because $6.99 is $7. Right.
But
I mean,
these go to 11.
I asked, my first question was, are they the Glacier Performance shorts? The ones that I love so
Yeah.
much from 2 days ago.
And she said,
She sent a picture back. They are not. They are, in fact, the brand that Sook guessed, Hang 10.
yes! You got some Hang 10 shorts,
Buck,
bruh?
those sweet bastards. I can't wait for you to slide those bad boys on. Maybe head to Ross and pick up a tank top, and you've got your summer set.
They are the Hang 10 Hybrid Walk Short. Charcoal gray.
The walk short, as opposed to...
I won't be running in these bad boys.
Was there a quarter zip purchased with those bad boys to go along with it?
Not that I'm aware of, but there could be.
I hope
Dude,
so.
Your life's looking up, man. That's great.
Everything is turning up Buck right
Some
now.
Hang 10s. You know, Buck has 2 pair of shorts in his wardrobe
Yeah.
for a grand total of $14, dude.
$13.98.
That is. Oh yeah, no tax nor. That's tasty, Buck.
Yeah, that's right.
That's tasty right there.
I mean, come on.
For the cost of my lunch today, 2 quality pairs of walking shorts.
Do you want to make waves this weekend, Jace?
Am I wearing Hang 10 shorts while I'm making them?
Well, that's up to
As
you.
if so, the answer is yes.
We have the Portlandia Mermaid Parade.
Huh?
That is this weekend.
That's a thing.
Yes.
What do you do during the Mermaid Parade? Do we have?
Is it a parade on the river?
Yeah, it's right down there on Waterfront Park, and it will be Saturday. And it does culminate in a splash into the mighty Willamette River at Poets Beach.
So we just splash around in the poo?
Yeah. The event is hosted by Una the Mermaid, who will kick off the festivities at noon with an opening ceremony at the Japanese American Historical Plaza.
Should we know her? Is she a famous mermaid? Una?
Yeah, I feel like when you said Una the Mermaid, that's like the No Drama Llama. Is that like a local
It's
celebrity?
like Darcel?
The Una Piper?
I don't really know. I mean, I'm looking at pictures of her. She doesn't look familiar, but she is a mermaid.
Now, what kind of...
She has shells on her breasts.
I was going to say, what kind of up tops are we dealing with? We got the shell,
the shells. you
Okay.
know. Right, some people wear just, like, what do you call it, though? Like,
Oh, it looks like it's from a cartoon Disney series, Una the Mermaid.
Oh.
It's like not a... I mean, someone will be dressed up as her, but it's like saying Cinderella.
oh,
would
it's
be
not
there.
her.
I don't think it's a human as much as it's a character.
What a ripoff.
Una the Mermaid? I always thought the mermaid was Ariel. I don't know. I
Different
that-
mermaid series.
I like
There's
that.
a lot of different mermaids.
I like that fish shaft myself. That's just me.
Past events have attracted anywhere from 100 to 800 water nymphs and allies.
Hey,
What?
it's just made me think it was a Napoleon Dynamite when he talks about he summons all the local wizards and their allies. Our promotions goddess was Ariel, the Little Mermaid at Disneyland back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember she said that.
Yeah. She maybe she will be one of the water nymphs and or allies.
Well, Una says they're crossing their tail fins for a great turnout as the forecast for this weekend looks mighty good.
I see right here, Portland Monthly back in 2017 had Una the Mermaid is Portland's most magical sea nymph. So she has been written about. That is a very extravagant costume.
The opening ceremony will include the coronation of this year's Majesty of the Waters and a ritual dance and circle ceremony honoring the elements of water.
The circle ceremony. Got a good idea what's going on there.
Also,
hey guys, want to get together for a circle ceremony?
Also, participants can make wishes into seashells, which the mermaids will toss into the river at Poets Beach to send to mermaids in the ocean to come true. Boy.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine getting that tied up in
a waste of time.
Mermaids?
What if this is the event of your summer?
Well, for some people it is.
It's gonna be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can we put how many people are showing up at this thing?
Well, like I said, they said anywhere from 100 to 800, but they expect better because of the forecast this year.
They said 100 to 800. I'm saying 75.
I bet there's more than that. Go down there. I dare you.
112.
Oh, by the way, it turns out
starts at noon on Saturday.
Before Una was a mermaid, she was a pirate.
Ooh.
Pirate to mermaid, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, she was a reenactor at Renaissance fairs, and she was a pirate, but she decided that she had had enough of that life. So she claims that she dove off the ship into the sea and is now a professional mermaid. She's on the ferry festival circuit, which is a thing, and she goes to lagoon parties. And you can rent her out.
What?
Whoa, hey,
whoa.
Sorry. No.
Whoa.
No, well, I don't know, maybe. You can rent her mermaid services.
Whoa. What does that mean?
I think if you want to have a party and you have a pool, I think you can pay her and she shows up in mermaids. I'm reading here. I'm reading an article
How does
about
she
her.
walk in that thing?
I don't think you do.
Well, then how do you somebody
mean?
carry her?
Yeah. You,
really?
Yeah, and then you plop her in the water and then you mermaid around.
Well, I hope to see you there.
She works in education, by the way, and restorative justice. She works at a prison.
Restorative justice?
It says in here, when not mermaiding.
That's such a Portland term. What does that mean?
Una works in education and restoration.
Well, it's justice that restores.
Justice at a prison. So, boy, I wonder what the inmates think when she shows up as Una the Mermaid. I'm guessing she probably doesn't wear the tail at the prison.
I bet Una the Mermaid's popular there.
Something tells me she is.
Yeah. She's Hawaiian.
Former Westview head football coach Jamal Jones appeared in Yamhill County Court on Wednesday after being accused of slapping dozens of players while they were sleeping at a football camp.
Yeah, we covered that story. My man started waking kids up by yelling at them and smacking them in the middle of the night.
He's 32. He turned himself into police. He was arrested. He has 12 counts of harassment.
Yeah. Can't do that.
Which is defined as an act meant to unlawfully and intentionally harass or annoy. 12 football players said the incidents happened at a multi-school summer football camp at Linfield University. One mother to one of the players said misdemeanor harassment charges are not enough. She said, that S he did, it deserves assault charges. He assaulted the children. They were assaulted. Minors were assaulted. It wasn't harassment. It wasn't annoyed. It was physical.
Yeah, you can't slap kids. As much as you want to slap kids, and I know we all want to slap kids, can't slap kids.
And they were all asleep. It wasn't like you slapped them because they screwed up a play.
Here's
They're in their bunks.
Here's the other one. Under no circumstance should you approach a child that is not yours in their bed.
Correct.
There is no... they're like, they were on fire. You put that out from a distance. Do not, under any circumstances.
I don't even think you go in the room.
Also, dude wore a bow tie to court. Looks like he's going to a wedding reception.
Like you just, well, hey, the bow tie's a classy look. Ask Tucker Carlson. Do not. You're right. I'm making an amendment. Do not go into a child's room that is not your own. Under no circumstances. They're like, hey.
Ever.
They're like, hey, I want to show you something in my room. Nope, you bring it out here. Not going in.
Not allowed.
No.
Restraining order.
Yeah, not. Just say no. So somehow in the middle of the night, he thought it was a great idea to climb on children's beds and then smack them.
In a statement to police, Jones said he was tapping kids on the face to lighten the mood because he and assistant coaches had to get them tough during
What
practice.
a spin job.
He also describes his actions as joking.
Ha ha!
Ha 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 ha.
Hey, it's 1 a.m. I'm gonna jump on top of you and slap you.
No, he said tap.
Tap.
All right.
I think he's a cop too.
Was he?
Yeah,
I think that's
anymore.
right. Yeah, 'cause he'll go top.
can't.
He is on administrative. Oh, you're right. He's on administrative leave from the Hillsborough Police Department, and he is no longer with the Beaverton School District.
So
players did take videos that show him physically pinning a player with his knees, slapping him across the face while laughing. That footage has yet to be released.
yeah, don't.
But it is being shown in court.
Yeah, don't do that. Again, stay for the record. When it's not your child, at no point should the phrase "pinned a child against the ground with your knees." That's not good.
And none of this is reactive. He thought all this stuff up and thought it was a good idea.
Because when you're pinning a kid down with your knees, you know what's in their face? Yeah, don't do that. No.
The fearsome war over booze ads
Oh,
coming up next.
are they still doing booze ads?
Who's they? What do you
I
mean?
don't know, big booze. I don't know. I'm trying to think of last time I saw
Well,
it.
this is a local story, but
Okay.
yes, there is a fight about this.
Okay.
And we will get to that next. It is 4:50 on The Fan.
This is the Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories. Brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
Smoothly onto Rodman with the turn. Rodman with the goal. And goodness me, that had been coming. Special moment for the 22-year-old from California.
That's Trinity Rodman scoring a goal?
Dennis
That's right.
Rodman's daughter, who looks shockingly like Zendaya, the actress. It's kind of.
Isn't she a Thorn?
Trinity Rodman?
Yeah.
Sophia Smith is a
No,
thorn, but
Trinity
I don't know if
Rodman's
Trinity
not
Rodman
a
is.
Oh. All right.
Who
Well, did they win?
Yeah, we kicked
they
their ass.
beat
3-0.
Zambia 3-0.
Take that, Zambia. Crotch chop. Boom.
The Fan's Window into Sports is brought to you by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Online at windownation.com.
Everyone's talking about the big man.
Swinging now, coming. Oh, the big man rising to the occasion.
Is the Black Lobster the
right, this is in the news for July 25th, 2024. We have time for one more story for you.
I'm still reading about Una the mermaid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I thought you were reading about Trinity Rodman.
No. I'm knee deep into Una
By the way,
the mermaid right now.
Trinity, she single?
I think she's. I thought she was with someone. I thought she had a high profile. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, this says Chris Kuzemka?
Okay.
Kevin Kesemeka?
Kazimierz? Is that guy?
Kazimierz.
God, that guy is everywhere. But I just wanted you to know that on top of being into restorative justice, she's also into water justice.
Aren't we all?
Apparently not enough. She's a water priestess and a mermaid oracle, and she's big into water justice.
Water priestess?
And mermaid oracle. I mean, hello. I don't think you're taking Una the mermaid very seriously.
I'm over her.
Not
I've
me.
moved on to Trinity.
She's cute.
She is.
She's very young.
How old?
22.
I mean, you know.
No.
No?
No, that's not okay.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not. How old are you?
I'm only 49.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's
It
enough.
would be if I had $1 billion.
That is true. If you
She's
had
a Coug, Washington State.
Yeah, she's Coug. Yeah.
Who? Oh, that's right. She
Yeah.
went to. Does Dennis Rodman like a Coug donor?
I don't think they have a relationship.
They do not.
No
She's
way.
made that very clear.
What?
Well, her name started
What?
popping up in the women's soccer scene, and everyone's like, "Oh, that'd be so cool to go talk to her about her dad." And people showed up to talk to her about her dad, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not talking about my dad.
Yeah,
we don't
that's
have
not-
a relationship."
I don't.
Gee, I wonder why.
That North Korea thing.
Oh, that's why?
Dennis is an interesting guy. No, I think there's a lot of things. Just saying.
The Oregon Health Authority has scrapped plans to continue showing anti-alcohol advertising on Oregonians' televisions this summer.
What?
This after a similar ad was criticized by the alcohol industry. Look at this fight.
I'm ready. Let's duke it out.
Dr. Timothy No is the head of OHA's Center for Prevention and Health Promotion. He delivered the news to a meeting of a subcommittee on the state's Alcohol and Drug Policy Commission yesterday.
I didn't know there was one of those. We have to protect the kids. Is that what we're
Well,
doing?
they're all just a bunch of biting asses.
Won't someone think of the children?
Yeah, so OHA remains committed to the Rethink the Drink brand. I don't know if you've seen those ads.
No.
They are continuing to run those online on social media and such, but they want to wait to see the effects of its prior campaign before moving forward on television. And there's talk of pivoting to an LGBTQ plus campaign for TV,
What?
which I
Hold
don't.
on.
I don't know.
I'm confused.
I
So
don't know, dude.
we're not going to run liquor ads anymore, but now we're going to run ads for
The anti-liquor ads.
Oh, we're going to run anti-liquor ads involving the LGBT.
No, the Oregon Health Authority is anti-alcohol. They
Yes.
run a
Yeah.
Rethink the Drink campaign. But because the alcohol community got so outraged by their stupid ads, they are saying we're not going to run those this year. We may pivot to an LGBTQ plus campaign.
But what are they campaigning for?
LGBTQ plus.
So the ads are just like, what they're just like, being gay is great? Is that the whole like?
Hey, you're gay. You don't need to drink.
Not just gay.
What? Gay and sober.
Lesbian, gay,
Yes.
bi, trans, queer,
So
plus.
that's what I'm asking. Is it going to be, hey, if you're part of that community, don't drink, or is the ad just going to be like, hey, you're part of this community, kick ass?
I think the latter.
The latter? Wow.
Yeah, why would they just focus
I don't
on
know. I didn't know there was ads for. I don't even what you could. What is there? Isn't there an easier way to incorporate everyone from that group without saying LGBTQ plus?
It does seem like a strange pivot.
Right?
I can't tell you what they're thinking. All I can do is report.
I would love to know, though.
I just want the commercial. I just like. I want the commercial because let's be honest, the gays look like they have a lot of fun. Like,
And the lesbians.
and the lesbians.
bis. And the trans.
I'm just trying
and
to
the
make
queers.
it. They all look like they're having a grand old time. I was at Departure once on gay night.
I'm gay, I'm gay,
It's
I'm
like
gay.
the funnest night of my life. Those guys are awesome. They're having a grand old time.
They're not all guys.
Well, they were at this one. So I'm just saying. So like that's the ad. It's just like a bunch of they're all just having a big party, and then it's like, yeah, that's the ad?
Yeah.
Seems like an odd ad.
I don't know. Well, last year during holiday football games, they ran a 60-second spot in which a father struggled and ultimately failed to explain to his young daughter why he drinks.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
I do remember that ad.
Well, the alcohol industry was irate.
Yeah.
And apparently a flurry of sternly worded letters ended up on the desk of Governor Tina Kotek.
Oh.
One from the Oregon Beverage Association.
Don't mess with that.
Yeah, called it neo-propositionist agendas.
God, I hate neo-propositionist agenda.
Escalating quickly.
I don't like this at all.
So this is a victory for the alcohol industry in its bitter fight.
Sounds like restorative justice is what it sounds like.
It does. If only we had some water justice, this would be
Is it not
perfect.
Neo-restorative justice?
Yeah, that is.
Yes. Let's be fair.
Plus?
Let's be fair about, yes. Neo-restorative plus
Justice.
Justice. Yes.
But only if it's restorative.
I do remember seeing that stupid ad and just wanting the dad to be like, because it makes me feel awesome and makes me forget about your terrible mother. Just, I want that ad. Daddy, why do you drink? Because your mommy won't stop spending money and daddy needs to feel good about himself. Be in the corner for a while. I want some honesty in the ads. Come on. It's the only way I wake up every day and not want to put my head in the oven, honey.
Consuming this during a football game makes me feel like I'm in college again and is a brief escape from this life temporarily.
Yes, that needs to be the ad, and then it just rolls across like Jameson. Just boom. Someone give me that honest ad.
In the News has been brought to you by The Advocates. You need more than a lawyer. You deserve an advocate. AdvocatesLaw.com. That's in the news for July 25th, 2024. Coming up next, the Hot 5 at 5, the top 5 sports stories of the day. Dan Lanning taking some shots, clapping back at Big Ten Media Day. We'll get to that when we return on 1080 The Fan.
Hi, I'm April Rose, and we all know about the speed of sound. But have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the
Jam. I haven't heard that song in a long time. Turn your mic if you want to be heard, Jason.
I thought I did. I just hit the wrong button.
What did you say?
It's Nelly and the St. Lunatics, baby.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've heard that one.
I think it's been a while since anyone's heard anything from Nelly.
It's your sports bros, Rob and Suk. Hope you have a nice little Thursday. Coming up here, we will have, of course, the Hot 5 at 5. Who will be the best paid athletes in 2024? We will take a look at the Oregon and Southwest Washington athletes in Paris that you must know about. Tonight in the club, Southwest Airlines making moves.
We just talked about this the other day.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday, actually, wasn't it?
And then this happens.
And then how hard is it to rip the head off of a seagull?
Yeah.
I have that story for you.
I had a dead bird today in my yard, and it kind of threw me for a loop. I don't like picking up.
Did you rip its head off?
I did not.
With your bare hands?
No, but its head was caved in. I think it ran into something.
Get him a body bag!
Birds run into my my windows a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Got to keep them dirtier.
Is that what that is?
They often think if windows are too clean and the light is hitting in a certain way, they won't see it as a barrier. They think they can just fly right through.
Boy, that happens quite a bit at my place, and it was a beautiful bird.
Stupid birds.
And then the side of its head was collapsed in. So it's like,
do you think his friends make fun of him? Like,
dumbass.
Not anymore.
Well, was it beautiful? Was it like, what are they, the Star Jays? Like the big blue jays? It's a beautiful bird, and then I had to pick it up by the little bird foot, and, you know.
Do you feel less bad if it's a crow?
Yes. And I like crows, but like, I don't know. If it's a dead crow, I'm like, whatever.
I saw a dead crow on Walking Molly Two Poops today.
You didn't care, did you?
No, I didn't.
Because it's a crow.
But I did wonder how it died.
Hmm.
It was just laying there on the street.
Yeah. Because at least this I knew. Like, I saw the head and I was like, oh, you hit the window. Like, that happens. But yeah, the crow, I don't know. How does the crow, like, does something catch it out of midair? I don't know. It's just
I'm not sure, man.
Old age and. But I feel like if we're ranking bird lives, I feel like the crow and the pigeon are like, no one cares.
Yeah, there's too many of them.
Yeah, if you saw like.
And they're not pretty.
No. You see a dead pigeon or a crow, I'll tell you what, I don't even know. Like, I'm probably like flinging it over into the neighbor's yard. But with this one, like, you know, it deserved a proper burial. And that means getting put in a bag and thrown away in the trash. But
is seagull a distant third?
Yeah, no one cares about the seagull. That's a bastard bird, too.
Maybe this man was justified.
I think that's right. I think those are the top three
garbage
most worthless birds.
Yeah. Yeah, no one cares.
I mean, crows are pretty smart, right? And
crows are like the smartest of the birds.
So I shouldn't say worthless, but they're just...
No one cares.
Yeah, they're just common.
We all, you know, we put certain values on animals. We all know it. Like, how many times... Because when I ride my bike, I ride by roadkill all the time.
Sure.
And I'll tell you what. Possum, whatever. You know, you're like, The raccoon jams me up. I don't like seeing the cat, but when I see the dog, I can't.
That's brutal.
It is absolutely brutal. And there's no difference in any of those animals, yet they all elicit a different response.
Well, I've heard people like point out that if squirrels had tails like rats, everyone would think they were heinous and gross. But because they have fluffy little bushy tails, we're like, oh, squirrel, cute.
It is true. I do like squirrels.
Is that right? You think that's true?
I think if their tail were long and weird and scaly and not covered in fur, people would think they were disgusting.
It's a valid point. If you gave, because really, if you gave the squirrel the rat tail, no one would dig squirrels.
I've never thought about that.
That's 100% true. But the bushy tail does.
Yeah, there's something untrustworthy about the rat tail.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's like the same thing with like a hairless cat. Like you're like, ugh, you think that thing's evil. The fluffier an animal is, the more you like it.
Yeah, generally the higher the cute factor. Oh.
Again, here's another point. You know what else that has the rat tail? It's the possum.
Yeah.
And I don't give a damn about possums.
Yep.
Why? Because they got a rat tail. You can't respect that. But a beaver's adorable. That cute little tail back there. The tail is a big deal. It goes a long way in determining what is cute. And in the animal world, we all know that cute means your life is valuable. Ugly, no one cares.
Well, I'm glad we covered that.
Yeah, that's what we did.
It is what we did. Now, let's get to the Hot 5 at 5.
Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victoricos.com. Number 5.
Well, our dear friend Joey Harrington is in the news today.
Yeah, by the way, the press conference, his hair is on point.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah,
he will always look great.
Oh, he was looking sharp today.
That's just a man who will...
Yeah.
He will just... Well, every stage of life, he will just look great.
I'm not going to lie, it kind of pissed me off when I saw the video today.
Yeah, so the Portland Thorns have added some big Portland sports names as investors.
I don't even know what that means.
Is that music too loud? Can we...
Yeah, it's an issue with the board. I would have to shut it down to turn it down. So I'm just gonna let it play out because we only have 20 more seconds.
Well, I mean, it's not about me. Can anybody hear this? Can anybody hear me talking?
I had to raise it all the way to the top to do that. So now, are we better?
What the hell is wrong in there?
Are we better?
That's better.
Are we better?
Yeah. It was very loud.
Carolina Panthers quarterback Bryce Young.
He's an investor in the Thorns?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Portland native and two-time U.S. decathlon gold medalist Ashton Eaton.
That I saw.
Former NFL quarterback Joey Harrington. University of Oregon alumna and an Olympic bronze Canadian heptathlon medalist Breanne Thiessen-Eaton. Oregon State alumnus and Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Brandon Cooks. And San Jose Earthquakes striker...
Jeremy Abobasi.
He
used to be a Timber.
They have all been added as high-profile Thorns investors.
I still don't know what that means.
Well, ask Joey tomorrow. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but you ask him. Ask him.
Did he buy like $60 worth of Thorn stocks?
Well, Buck and I were contemplating this earlier off the air.
Yeah, Isaac has specifically charged me with asking him how much money you gave the Thorns.
Yes, and if he doesn't answer, keep asking him.
He's not going to answer.
And he won't answer, but maybe he'll give some clues because I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah, I want to know.
One of the top rookies and possible trade targets at the trade deadline next week, fireballer Mason Miller of the A's hits the IL. He broke his pinky during a workout. Clayton Kershaw returned for the Dodgers today, his first appearance since the playoffs last year. He's had a shoulder injury, and he pitched okay. Dodgers ended up beating the Giants 6-4.
He's cute. His whole family was there on the front row.
I like Clayton Kershaw.
I do too.
That's a guy we should get behind. And
I hate the Dodgers,
awesome.
and I love Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, he's been
He just
awesome.
seems like a good dude. Well, postseason, he does have the one World Series, but like, he's 36 now. He might be the best regular season, bad postseason pitcher of all time.
What are his postseason numbers?
I'll pull it up for you.
I thought maybe he
had the
rectified that.
He had the 1 year where he had the good run, but
he got a little better recently, but it's mostly been abysmal.
Ducks coach Dan Lanning claps back at Kirby Smart today on the Pat McAfee show, saying, quote, "I think it's impressive guys like Kirby have been signing the #1 class in the nation without any NIL money this entire time," end quote. Sick burn.
Sick burn, bro.
He went on to say the reality is, if you want to be a top 10 program in college football, you better have great support.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so.
I just love that now where everyone's mad that Oregon's buying players when you can do it legally.
Dan Lanning, by the way, on the morning show with Will Ortner and Brandon Sprague this morning. If you missed that, podcast it on the Odyssey app or anywhere you get your podcasts. How about that?
I have his numbers. We can talk about it
Was
next.
that a good plug?
The Kershaw numbers.
Thank you.
It involves a deeper dive.
I'd like to hear about it.
Yeah.
The Falcons proclaim new quarterback Kirk Cousins ready to go as they open camp. Of course, he tore his Achilles in Week 8 of last season. Steelers holding Russell Wilson out of practice due to a tight calf. And we have our first catastrophic injury of camp. Rams have lost cornerback Darian Kendrick to a torn ACL, they fear, although more tests to come.
Yeah, that's code for... Has anyone ever thought they tore their Achilles and then it turned out after more
ACL.
ACL. You tore it. You know. So, thanks for coming.
Yeah, former 6th-round pick, but he's a starter for them.
He started 12 games, and that's the brutal part of the postseason is every team's going to have these. You just hope that you don't get them to a really significant player or you get them piled up at one position.
That's right. That's all I have.
That's it.
Come too far together to stop now. Let's do it. That's it, baby. Shut it from the rooftops. America's #1 fighting force.
Number one.
And number one, we have a no-hitter today.
Yeah?
That's baseball, kids. Dylan Cease of the surging Padres no-hit the Washington Nationals. Gave up 3 walks in a 3-0 win. Cease tossing just the second no-no in Padres history. The first was Joe Musgrove in 2021. My Friars have now won 5 in a row.
Yeah, I'm looking here. They're 7.5 back of the Dodgers, but the old wild card. Oh, if they had started today, they would be the second wild card. Actually, they'd be the third wild card team. So they're tied with my New York Mets, my surging New York Mets, who just swept the Yankees.
The Hot 5 at 5 is brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. Maybe some impromptu Clayton Kershaw talk, and who will be the best paid athletes in 2024? Next on The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt.
This is a bad
All right, we're going to hear some Barry Zito music coming up shortly. Buck is telling us that it's, quote, something.
Yeah.
End quote.
Yeah. I got a good idea.
I think he's going for like a Jason Mraz-ish kind of a thing.
Again, I think I was onto something when I said lesbian seagull.
You like Jason Mraz.
Big fan. His little tiny pork pie hat or whatever he wears.
We'll get to that in a second. This happened while I had the COVID, but I saw LeBron got a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be making $52 million a year.
Yes. Hey, he took a big discount.
Yeah, he did.
I think $3 million over 2 years.
So they could shave off $7 million for Bronny.
Yeah, that's right. Because Bronny got a contract, right?
Like a real good one.
Like a real good one. Guaranteed, like $2 million a year. Fully guaranteed for some unknown reason.
And it's a 4-year deal worth $7 million. The previous year's pick from the 55th slot, it was a 2-way for $500,000.
Yeah.
Do you think when you're LeBron and you make $80 million a year on endorsements, that your $50 million a year contract is like,
nah,
whatever.
50 mil still 50 mil.
I know, but he took
$1.5 million a year less.
Well, right, but still, it's like if that's your only source of income,
yeah,
you're like, no way, I'm taking a discount. I'm LeBron freaking James. Pay me $55 million.
Yeah.
But he makes $80 million. Last year, he made $80 million in endorsements.
Well, I think he's worth $1 billion. Jalen Brunson took a bunch less, like a significant chunk less.
Now, see, he's interesting because he doesn't make $80 million.
No, he does
in
not.
Endorsements.
No,
but LeBron,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's just his salary is like play money.
I'm sure at this point most things to LeBron is play money. I don't think it was always that way, but at this point, yes. I do not think money is the overall driver for LeBron. But if he was serious and it was about winning titles, then LeBron would have taken a salary of $25 million, and they could have gone and added.
Nah, let's not get crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm serious. Like, that dude's Brady didn't do anything that extreme, but I mean, it is essentially what Tom Brady did.
Yeah.
And if LeBron wanted to, because the Lakers are against the cap, LeBron could have played on a cheap deal. I mean, there was talk of him, like Phoenix supposedly was talking about, hey, we'll draft your kid and come here and play cheap, and you can join our big crew. But, like, for instance, like if he had taken a really, really cheap ass deal, could you have gone out and signed like OG, or instead of the Knicks or someone like that, and used the max salary on him and just said, hey, dude, I'm going to play my last 2 years on a league minimum or a veteran minimum, whatever it is, $10 million deal, go out and get another star, and I want another ring. But that's not happening.
Hey, had to sign Bronny, man.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between taking $1 million less a year and taking $30 million less a year.
So the top 5 U.S. team sport athletes by 2024 base salary, how many do you think you can name? So LeBron's contract got me thinking, LeBron is the king. He's the chosen one.
Yeah.
But I was looking at $52 million a year. I'm like, is that even in the top 5?
In the world?
No. U.S. team sport athletes 2024 base salary.
Well, I mean, I'd say some of the quarterbacks now are getting up there.
So number 1 is number 1 by far.
Number 1 by far. U.S. athlete. It's not in hockey.
Well, they don't have to be American. I mean, U.S. sports.
Shohei
Ohtani will make $70 million.
Yeah. Although not really, because he's making like $2 million. In 2020,
he's doing the whole deferment thing.
Yeah,
yeah, but
on average,
his base salary
is $70 million.
Or average base salary.
Yeah.
Next closest, by the way, in baseball is Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander at $43 million.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about Ohtani. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a whole thing about him maybe giving up pitching.
What?
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, this was his second surgery, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tommy John.
They're like, they need him to hit, so stop pitching. I don't know. It's kind of a dumb argument when he's so good at both, but
yeah. Well, I mean,
that's the thing.
I mean, what he's doing right now at the plate is amazing, but it's not worth $73 million.
70.
Either way.
Shave $3 million off that.
Yeah, well.
Okay, how many of the other 4 do you think you can name?
Well, so we got Shohei.
It's kind of a weird group.
It's a weird group. Who's the highest paid guy in the NBA?
He is number 2. He will make $55.7 million. He'll be number 2 behind Ohtani.
Did he just sign the deal? Is this a recent?
Because like Tatum just signed, but I don't know if.
I don't think he just signed. He's a little older.
He's a little older. Yeah. So it's not like Lillard, is it?
No.
Yeah. Lillard, Tatum just signed. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
There you go.
Who?
There you
Steph
go. It's
Curry.
Steph Curry.
$55.7 million. Next closest in the NBA will be Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, and then of course LeBron at 52. 3, 4, and 5 are all from the same sport.
3, 4, and 5. Well, it's got to be the NBA, right? Like
or quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I keep because NFL salaries aren't that way, but yeah, quarterbacks. So Mahomes.
Yep. Mahomes, no.
Rodgers.
Believe it or not. No. Rodgers, no.
No Rodgers.
Shut up.
Who just got signed?
Yep. Think that.
Who just got big quarterback deals?
Think
Joe
that.
Burrow, Justin
Goff.
Herbert.
Yep. Joe Burrow is 3. He'll make $55 million.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is 5th. He'll make $53 million. Herbert, just short of that, 52.5.
Josh Allen, maybe.
Nope, you're missing one guy. This guy is a top 5.
Lamar.
Top 5. No, he's behind Herbert. Top 5 U.S. sports best paid athletes in 2024. Mind blowing that this guy is
Daniel Jones.
No, it's Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah, just signed his deal. You know what's crazy is that if you're to believe some of these numbers, we could be replacing those in the next 3 months with Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, and Dak Prescott.
And Brock Purdy, you said.
Yeah, Bill Barnwell today said that he thinks, from what he's hearing, that Brock Purdy could ink this year a 5-year deal with an average annual value of $65 million. God. So that would put Brock Purdy, too, behind Ohtani.
Yep.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
That by the midpoint of this year, that Brock Purdy could be the second highest paid athlete.
Dude, that's crazy
in the United States.
Yeah, isn't that the beauty of sports right there, though?
Yes.
What draft was that? 2021?
Yeah, 3 years ago, whatever. Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant. Okay, no, let's take the top 2. So let's go back 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that the 2 highest paid athletes in U.S. sports will be some Japanese guy that you've never heard of.
That, by the way, pitches and hits, and you're like, what?
He's better than Babe Ruth. Yeah. You'd be like, shut up.
Get out of here.
And the other guy is Mr. Irrelevant.
The last pick in the draft. And he played quarterback at Iowa State.
I
mean, that's why sports are great. Right there.
It's just so dumb. It is absolutely absurd. And yet they pale behind the highest paid. I looked up in the world. And
the soccer guys.
Yeah, the soccer bros. You know what old Cristiano Ronaldo is making?
250 million?
260.
And then Mbappe?
$60 million.
He's up there.
They say John Rahm comes in at number 2 because of the live thing.
Yeah.
So Rahm's going to make 218 next year, just next year. Then Messi, and Messi's is hard. Messi comes in at 135, but they're saying that is probably inaccurate because Messi would be number 1 with all of the back end stuff he's getting.
What's he getting paid by Miami to play out
65 mil
a year?
Yeah.
And obviously he's on the backside of his career too. I think he was making substantially more than that when he was with like Barcelona.
Hey, is he kicking a lot of ass for them or what?
Yeah, when he plays, and he doesn't play all the time, he won't play on artificial turf, and he's a little chipped up. But when he plays, he's the best.
He's awesome.
He's unbelievable.
He was kind of banged up going into Copa America, and then he really jacked up his ankle in the final, and now MLS fans are refunding tickets for people that bought them to see Messi.
Yeah. Dude, there were people, and the bummer is like he'll never play in Portland because he won't play on the turf.
No artificial turf.
Yeah, he won't do it.
Man, can you imagine the ticket to go see him if he played here?
Well, and that's what there was an article that I saw. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal not too long ago that basically what season ticket holders are doing is they're paying for their entire season tickets by selling the Miami game.
Yeah, but I think if I had season tickets to the Timbers and Messi came through, I'd go.
Yeah, well. Again, it's me and my buddy, because he's got season tickets, my buddy that I go to. And when he came over and was we were having that discussion. I was like, do you sell your Miami tickets? And then we found out about the artificial turf thing, and it was like, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, what's the price? That's
look,
the
price. Yeah.
Sometimes the number is so high that it's like, I gotta sell those tickets.
Yeah. Well, his seats are field level seats, food and drink included, and they are on the field. Those a 4-top. It would go for thousands upon thousands of
Yeah, so maybe you sell them, try to get in another way.
Yeah.
And then
you sell them and you buy cheapos to try to be up.
It's like trading back in the draft.
but-
We'll sit in the upper section. We'll just try to get something out of this.
Are there cheapos though to a game like that?
No, but it's not going to run you, $8,000 to buy a 4-top. But yeah, like that Mbappe, he's 110. The soccer guys, Neymar, 108. Yeah, it's all soccer. But the key is, kids, don't play basketball. Go play soccer. Like the highest paid athletes are all soccer players.
Go play intramurals, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
And now that the Saudis got that money, that's what you need to do. Just get in bed with the Saudis.
Oregon and Southwest Washington athletes in Paris. Next on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Yeah, for us, I think connection has been that secret sauce. It's something that really makes our team tick, and our coaching staff is a group that certainly enjoys being around each other. We can work there in the mornings and then have a good opportunity to fellowship in the afternoons. And really just, get to know each other better. And this is one of the staffs that I've been a part of that, after work's over with, you enjoy, sharing a cold Frosty or telling a story with each other. And that's, I think, really important when it comes down to how hard the season is, especially when you're starting to talk about the months of November, December, and January.
That is the great Dan Lanning.
Yeah, who he likes his staff.
They were on with, he was on with Dirt and Will this morning. Sprague and Dirt. Sprague and Will.
Ordner.
Will and Sprague.
I think he was on with Carl Casamaras. I think that's who he was on with.
Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window Nation brings you the window into the Fan.
All right, before we get to some local athletes in Paris, We do have Barry Zito audio.
The audio you didn't know you needed.
I guess. Apparently, he's a country music singer now.
Country is a strong word.
Yeah, that's a stretch for country. I would say he's more like a synth pop with a hint of emo.
Fly, lesbian seagull, fly.
Well, let's take a listen.
This is called Broke It.
Yeah, not country. I hate it.
That's a guitar right there.
I can't remember much about that Tuesday night.
What the hell?
No one cares.
You might have told me that your flame had flickered out. If I recall, I thought our fire was burning bright. Burning bright.
Bye.
Then I think you said you didn't want to talk it out.
Come on!
Yeah, you cut it clean, but it went to the bone. Well, did you ever love before you had your doubts? I still don't know, but I'm not trapped in the past. No, I never look back. I'm barely aware that my heart's still cold. But it's never been better ever since the day you broke it.
What a mess.
I don't really know what to make of it.
It just kind of sounds copycatish of, Mraz, Timberlake, something like that.
I don't know what to make of Barry Zito's new music.
Yeah, is he even singing?
Don't
or is
know.
that like...
That's him.
That's him, yeah.
Well, I'm
Like
saying...
auto-tuned
But
and
is
stuff,
that
probably.
really... Is he singing or is he kind of talking in a...
Isn't this kind of what Justin Timberlake does?
Is that...
Don't disregard the greatness that is Justin Timberlake.
I don't know, man.
What is happening?
Can't say I'm a Barry Zito fan.
When you told me Barry Zito was in Nashville making music, I was not expecting that.
Nor was I.
No.
I'd never heard any of his work until today.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Nashville.
No. I don't even know what Nashville is anymore, but I don't think it's that. No.
I know what Nashville is.
She is from Nashville.
Yeah, like Deal said, all these athletes, we're talking about all these athletes making all this money, they're putting their bodies and lives on the line. Why not just say Haktua and then get rich?
Spit on that name.
Well,
it's much easier.
I don't know how much Haktua Girl is, but again, I would like to point out that Catch Me Outside Girl released her OnlyFans receipts, and 3 years, I think it was 52 mil. So
pretty good.
The question becomes: would you rather put your body on the line,
pretty good,
and do that, or just like shake your ass on camera and get $53 million?
Ladder.
Yeah, right. I mean, is there ever been someone that did less to earn more than Catch Me Outside Girl?
Right in the butt.
I mean, I don't know. She maybe works hard on her. What is it?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Maybe she works hard on it. Maybe it's hard work.
Is there such a thing as
I
hard
don't know.
work OnlyFans? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what it's like. I wish I did. Sounds like a lot of people make a lot of money on that thing.
You're starting to consider the Isaac Crop OnlyFans.
Pacific Northwest athletes heading to the Paris Games. We have opening ceremonies tomorrow. Some names you should know.
It's always weird that their opening ceremonies haven't happened and yet there's Olympic competitions going on.
Right. They've already started the soccer.
Soccer, rugby is happening. Handful of other things.
Surfing.
Not in Paris, though. Can't surf in Paris.
Why not? I figured they'd just set up like fake waves,
Or I thought, are there waves somewhere on the French coast? Like anywhere? I mean, there's a lot of coastline in France, right?
Couldn't tell you. Well, it's storming the beaches of Normandy, but I don't know what the waves are like.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
There's about 24 athletes with ties to Oregon and Southwest Washington out there. Some names you need to know. Ryan Krauser. He looks a little bit like you. He's an insurrectionist shot putter guy.
I think he's a 2-time Olympic champion.
He's
is
a
he not?
beast.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is a
dude,
stud.
That dude's the real deal.
Went to Barlow.
Yeah.
I
I think he threw at Cal, though, didn't he?
I don't know where he went to college.
I don't think he went to Oregon.
He's a shot putter.
Yeah, I think he went to a California school, but yeah, that dude's an absolute beast.
Oregon Duck Jada Ross will be out there. She will compete for the first time at the Olympics.
Yeah, she owns most of the women's NCAA shot put records.
Yeah, she won the NCAA title in shot put there.
Speaking of beasts, again, that woman is an absolute dominator in there.
She went to North Medford. Former Duck Cole Hawker clinched a spot in the men's 1,500 meters.
Okay.
Woody Kincaid qualified for his second Olympics after placing second in the men's 10,000-meter race at the
Anyone
Olympic
getting
trials.
a sports Woody? I only know 2 of these people, and I don't mean to crap on anyone's sport, but is there something I care less about than middle distance running?
I don't know. You tell me.
The answer to that question is no.
He went to the University of Portland.
It's why, by the way, the Prefontaine thing is such an amazing thing that guy got people to care about middle distance running. Like, 10,000 meters, cool.
Kyrie King is a former Duck, is on Team USA, 30-year-old, named as one of 6 additional athletes in the men's relay pool.
Okay.
U.S. athlete, former Duck Alyssa Johnson will compete in the women's 100-meter hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
Look for her. Nikki Hiltz.
Oh, Nikki Hiltz.
She started at Oregon, transferred to Arkansas.
I want to say I love Nikki Hiltz, but I don't really know.
I don't know, track star. Carissa Schweizer competes in the Bowerman Track Club in Portland and will be in her second Olympics.
Sure.
Is this getting your pants tight here?
Not really, but
yeah.
Good for everybody. I mean,
let's go to some other sports.
I've heard of 2 people.
Gymnastics. We have Oregon State's Jade Carey. She is will be on the U.S. women's gymnastics team.
I think she medaled last Olympics.
She'll be on the floor.
Well, that's a big deal because the U.S. gymnast, that's what everyone loves. We love the gymnastics.
Jordan Childs is a local product. She grew up training in Vancouver, born in Oregon. She'll be there. Basketball, we have Sabrina Ionescu.
There you go.
You know her.
I do.
She played at the Oregon Ducks.
I saw the video where they gave her U.S. Olympic jersey, and it was really cool.
Yeah?
They told her she was on the team. It was pretty cool.
You know who else is playing in the Olympics? Duop Reith, Portland Trailblazer great.
Oh.
For Australia.
Yeah, he's Australian. Yeah.
Boy, I didn't know that.
Dylan Brooks, former Duck. He'll be for Team Canada.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is Canadian.
Canadian team is sneaky good. They get Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as well.
Yeah, I think they have like the second or third best odds behind the U.S. Americans.
Yeah, their roster's solid.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Wyndham Clark, former Duck golfer. He'll be on Team USA Golf.
Didn't he win an Olympic medal in golf?
I don't think so.
Do they do team and individual, or do they just do individual?
They do both.
Because I think Xander won gold, I think.
He did. Justin Rose won the first one.
No. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know why I thought Wyndham Clark had won I knew he won a major. I thought he had won an Olympic medal, but I clearly wrong.
We have Sophia Smith and Sam Coffey. They will be on the U.S. women's soccer team.
My Portland Thorns, thank you very much.
That's right.
And that's MVP Sophia Smith. Put some respect.
We also have Jessie Fleming, Janie Becky. They will compete for Canada, and Nicole Payne for Nigeria.
Okay.
We have a fencer by the name of Magda Skarbunakowitz. She's the U.S. saber fencing team.
I don't find it weird that you dedicate your life to fencing.
She's only 18, so I'm not sure she's dedicated her life to it.
Well,
but
I'm guessing you've dedicated most of your childhood to fencing. You don't get to become an Olympian without it. It just seems like an odd thing.
Born with a foil in her hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We've got a rower, Peter Quinton, will be out there.
Go rowing.
He's headed to Paris after 3 years at the U.S. rowing team. He was in the Rose City Rowing Club. You could probably watch him out there on the mighty Willamette.
Yeah. Maybe get out there and compete against him.
And a couple of wrestlers.
My paddleboard.
Dominic Parrish, women's 53 kilograms. And some guy will be competing for Canada named Amar Deshi.
And by the way, no, Wyndham Clark has never appeared in the Olympics before. So
yeah. Well, he's kind of he's only been playing good golf recently.
Yeah.
In the last year or two.
I don't know why. For whatever reason, I thought I remembered him, but there you go. All right, well.
There you go.
Go Olympics.
Bitch. How about that?
Well, how about that?
Those are our local athletes that you can keep an eye on. Opening ceremonies tomorrow.
And once every 4 years, we're supposed to care.
Kick the ball, you little bitch.
I don't remember if it was ESPN or someone listed the 100 greatest athletes of the 20th century, and they put Michael Phelps at number 1. And I think it was Stu Gott. Someone on the Dan Le Batard show goes, "How the F are you the greatest athlete of the 20th century when we only care about you for 2 weeks every 4 years?"
Yeah, twice a decade for a couple weeks.
And I thought that was a really valid point.
That's true.
I really did. I was like, I get it. You won a bunch of medals, but you won the like swimming's weird because there's so many different events, but like
well, same with gymnastics. People say the same thing in the female realm for Simone Biles.
Yeah,
also every 4 years.
You just win. But swimming, it's like you won a slightly longer race. It's still swimming. Oh. I just thought it was a valid point. No offense to Michael Phelps, who's greatness, but you're the greatest athlete like of all time because you swim? No. No, we're not. I'm not buying that. Go away.
Who's the greatest athlete of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Boy, I mean that's a tough one. Like,
I can't ask that question at 6:00 on a Thursday.
I know. Look at us.
What am I doing?
And you're not even here tomorrow.
I know. Can we talk about my summer that I'm having?
Yeah,
I'm on a roll.
Well, you're about to get COVID again.
I'm going to Pebble Beach tomorrow.
Yeah. You may die.
I get to play Pebble Beach. Checking another one off the bucket list. It's the summer of me.
Summer of rock.
You've got to kick him off the tour.
I'll report back.
Please.
Do you care?
Yeah, I want to hear about Pebble. I've never even been.
Nor have I.
I've yet to lay eyes on it. It's very expensive. Must be nice to be Isaac Robb. All that Asachi 19 money.
Yeah.
I know what it costs.
Well, the brand is doing great.
I know what it costs to play down there, and I'll tell you what, the Sucanic brand, it is not Pebble Beach worthy.
I'm going to show you my boobs. I'm not going to show you my boobs.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
Oh, I thought
that's
how you got Pebble Beach.
Is that what's going on right now?
No, it's the Asachi line. It's doing great.
You
and
showed some teat?
It's affording me some luxuries that I couldn't afford normally.
No, that's beyond my pay grade.
Reading a paragraph like,
I'm playing Rose City this weekend. Is that kind of in the same realm?
Comparable.
Think about this. While you're teeing off at Pebble Beach, I will be making my rounds at Rose City. It's basically the same thing.
I would say I'll think about you, but I won't.
No. I'm gonna send you a photo of the tee box on number 1 there, just so you can.
And then
see.
I'll send a photo of my tee box.
Yes. I think we should do some fun
Some
comps.
side by sides.
Some side by sides of
All
of the tee boxes this weekend.
Let's do it. All right, let's get to the club next on The Fan.
High five. Up top.
That's what we do. I'm gonna get rid of all the women. I'm gonna get rid of all the black guys. What was that in?
I don't know.
Who knows? It's all problematic. I ate ass.
Yeah, you did.
Come on.
Yeah, you did.
Pete's sakes.
God, we're so gross. Why do they even let us do a show? Andrew Nemec's out there hustling. I see him through the window. He's working real hard. He's banging on his computer, making calls, getting kids on the show, doing his recruiting stuff, and we're in here playing that crap.
Wearing his Crocs.
Being
Crocs with socks.
Unprofessional.
I didn't know Crocs. I thought Crocs were a barefoot sort of thing.
They can be either.
Yeah,
You know how
they
like
can be
kids wear
either.
like slide sandals with socks sometimes these days?
Yeah,
like
the
that.
kids wear zany socks now. You're nothing if you don't have zany socks.
I do like a good sock game, but
Yeah.
only if I'm wearing like.
Do you have zany socks though, like with, like with chickens and stuff on them,
I have some zany. I don't know how zany.
or
Mine
little
are.
martinis?
I've got ones with like little pineapples on them.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
You know,
That's zany.
Yeah, I got some stuff with that.
You're a zany.
Normally, I just go with some good striped socks. I find like if you wear like a nice pair of sneakers, like an Air Force One or like some Stan Smiths or something, like a clean sneaker, you throw on some stripy socks, it gives them a nice little punch. It's a nice little element to it.
Well, we've got big Southwest Airlines news.
Yeah, we just got done talking about Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. Southwest Airlines is shifting to assigned seating for the first time in its history.
Yeah. Wasn't that their whole gig?
Yes, that was their whole bit.
That was the whole thing. Now, why do you fly them?
Well, it's a good question. Although, I guess they're just saying that. Were they saying that without an assigned seat, it's cheaper? Is that what they were saying?
It seems like that was the thing. It's like, I don't know. It's like like low prices, and it's like you can sit wherever you want.
I think before the seating systems and the selection system got so robust, it was an expensive thing to be able to have to facilitate. And they're like, it's way easier if we just issue it this way, and it's cheaper. And now they're like, computers are pretty good. It's probably pretty cheap to do this now.
So Southwest said customers were clamoring for the changes. When people switched to a competitor from Southwest, the company said the number one reason they would cite is open seating.
Yeah. I will we talked about this the other day. I don't fly Southwest because they're not on any of the search engines, and I just never think to go to Southwest. And I also don't feel like they have a lot of good nonstop flights. It's just not my jam.
They've gone south.
Yeah. I used to fly Southwest, and now I couldn't tell you the last time I got on a Southwest plane. It's probably been a decade. But my main reason is that I hate having to check in early, or it drives me crazy. And like line up. I am a late arriver to the airport. I usually the last one on the airplane, and I just love knowing that when I get there, my little seat, I'm not in the first 10 rows. My seat in 26F, it's there for me, and you take that away from me, and there's a possibility of me getting a middle seat. Kiss my ass. I'm not buying your ticket.
So the big thing here is that a lot of the shareholders of Southwest are like, hey, you need to grow your profits. Isn't that shocking?
Yeah, I know.
That people in the boardroom are like, hey.
I love when a company makes like $8 billion,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Not
horse
enough.
crap! We need 9!
Yeah, exactly. So they are under pressure from their investors to grow in profitability. And the thing where they really lack, where they fall behind, is the Uniteds and the American Airlines and the Deltas of the world. They get primo dollar for premium seating. Yeah, and it's not the whole airplane, but it's enough of the airplane that just right there, Southwest has to go to assigned seats because they have to charge more for the good ones.
Yeah, because if you want a good seat on an airplane, like on a United flight, for an exit row or extra leg room, it's like $60 extra. And if you want the I don't know what they call it, like the Premier Plus or whatever, not first class, dude, that can be like an extra $150 to $175. And yeah, when you do a free for all sort of thing, yeah, I can see where that's a bugaboo.
They used to be the most profitable airline in the United States.
Southwest?
Yeah.
Not
but that
anymore.
is no longer the case.
Yeah. Well, and again,
they're way down.
That was never a thing because you got to hustle to get the best seat. And I I will just never be first in line for anything. It's like Black Friday deals or whatever. I just can't think of anything that is worth me fighting to be first. I do not like having to compete for anything like that.
You don't really have to compete. I mean, like, if you get even in the high Bs, you're getting a fine seat. Yeah. You're just not getting...
You're not getting the exit row or like the first row. And you know,
their attendants joke that that if you get a C, it's for center seat, like A, B, and C groups. But if you have A or B, you're fine.
Yeah, do the early bird check-in. My flight's on Southwest tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I did the early bird check-in. I'm A20, and I'm feeling great about it.
And you paid for that though.
$15.
$15, but you
$15 US dollars.
But you feel good about A20.
Yeah, because.
You'll have your choice of window or aisle.
The flight's early in the morning, so I would have had to gotten up this morning and checked in order to try to get on A. And you never get on A. You always get on B if you do that.
I still want to see if would Southwest honor my arm sling. Could I be in Group F and then just wear my arm sling and all of a sudden I'm Group A?
Well, there's only A, B, and C on Southwest.
Yeah.
There is. That's all there.
C is the FU.
That's right.
All right. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. When are these changes taking effect?
They said they haven't said. They will not say.
I wonder, like, if people are going to be outraged. Will this cause more of a loss to Southwest, who already has a terrible reputation?
Well, they're saying 80% of their customers want it.
They want it, huh?
So, about time.
All right.
Their planes are kind of rickety, too. Like, I feel like they're just kind of tired and old.
They're all from an old fleet, and they haven't upgraded them.
And they look stupid with their colors. You know?
And don't their flight attendants do bits?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do songs or poems or raps. Yeah.
They have They're
very cheeky
little jokes in there.
It's not for me.
And everybody laughs.
But they don't charge for bags.
And then they clap when the plane lands.
Wait, they do?
I do.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Will you tomorrow when you land in Pebble Beach?
I might. I just might.
Yeah, Southwest isn't for me. Maybe the new Southwest, but I'm out.
I also think Southwest used to have way better fares, or like prices.
Yeah.
I don't.
This happens to me.
It's not really the case anymore.
This happens to me all the time, where I'll see an ad for like a Southwest deal, right?
$89.99.
$89.99, and then I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, maybe I should look, and I'll go on there, and it's never $89.99.
No.
Or the flight that is $89, it's like
11:35 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Going to San Antonio.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? I'm trying to get to Denver, and they're like, you have to go to Salt Lake 3 times. You're like, what? Huh? Like, I don't just shut up and go to Salt Lake 3 times, and we'll get you to Denver.
I like when they do the thing where they're like, yeah, it's really cheap, but you're actually gonna have to overshoot your location and then fly back.
Yeah.
You know, like to get to Phoenix, you got to fly to Dallas first.
I will tell you, that also is something that I can't stand. On principle alone, I won't do it.
What?
Where you have to overshoot by like 2 states, what Buck's saying. Like if you're flying to Dallas, but they tell you you're going to fly into New Orleans, and then from New Orleans to Dallas, you're like, what? Well, oh, I'm not flying by my destination city for 2 hours.
It's not efficient enough for you.
Nope, I'm out. I'm out. Can't handle it. No good. Unless it's $89, and it never is $89.
Yeah,
Ever.
they should make those cheaper.
Exactly. Well, whenever I look at flights, the most inconvenient flight is always the most expensive flight. It's the weirdest thing. Like, it makes no sense to me when you look at these flights, and there'll be one that's like, it'll be like a 12-hour flight someplace far away. And you're like, all right, that's, it's $1,000 or whatever. And then you see one, and it's a 1 stop. And then you see one that's like 2 stops, and it's like 28 hours, and it's like $1,700. And I'm like, what? How? Why would anyone?
It's just demand, right?
Why would anyone choose that flight?
I don't know.
It makes no sense to me. I was doing that. My son's in Vietnam right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so we were looking at flights, to there and back, because he's actually flying back from Korea. But so we bought a one-way ticket. We bought here to Vietnam, and then from he got a little small flight from there to Korea, and Korea back here. And I'm telling you, the flights back home, there was one that was like 14 hours. There's one stop like in Vancouver or something, Canada, and it was, I said it was like $1,000, and there were other ones that stopped in like 2 different countries that spanned the better part of 24 hours, and they were almost twice as expensive. And this happens to me all the time, and I will never understand why those are even options. Does someone just want to be on an airplane for 30 hours? Is like you to rack up miles? Or is it one of those where you're like, hey, I'd really like to see this airport for a 2.5-hour layover? It's bonkers to me.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, they're going to assign seats on Southwest Airlines, guys.
Still not going to fly it, but for those that you do, I don't know.
It's finally here.
Kick ass.
All right, up next. How hard is it to rip the head off of a seagull? Dad talk. It's 6:18 on the Fan.
The home of
We'll fly back first week in August from Seoul back to Portland.
Yeah.
So I got him on a...
What's he doing? Is he just partying?
His sister lives in Korea, so she's going to Vietnam just for vacation. and he's going to meet her in Vietnam. They're going to hang out in Vietnam for a week or 10 days. Then he'll go back to Korea with her. He'll hang out in Korea with her for a week, and then he's just coming home. So
hot.
Yeah. So she was going on vacation, was like, hey, do you want to come with? And he was like, yeah, let's go to Vietnam.
True story.
So to fly him back from Korea, one stop. So it's here direct to Seattle, and then little layover, 45 minutes or whatever, and then you catch a Horizon shuttle, you're done.
How long's that flight?
12 and a half hours.
Okay.
12 and a half hours. So, and that's total. 12 and a half hours total flight. And it was just under $1,000. So $998.
That's not bad.
Yeah, one way. Like, I'll take that, right?
Mind that.
So this is my point. Same day. And that is that's Air Canada. And,
that, by the way, Air Canada sucks.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. But it's actually Air Canada. It's operated by Delta. So
I know, but it sucks.
It
Trust
sucks?
me. Yeah. It's kind of a low budgie airline.
So here we go. So this is same thing. Delta, Air Canada operated by Delta. So this one, though, has 2 stops. And get this. Direct to Seattle. Seattle to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City.
Come on.
To Portland. And that will run you 19 hours as opposed to the 12. 18 and some change. So almost 19 hours.
Stupid.
And that plane ticket, $1,875.
Double.
Why? Why would anyone, and I mean anyone, buy that flight? You're trying to get to Portland, but you go to Seattle, and Salt Lake, unless you are like, hey, I really need to get to Seattle for, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and then Salt Lake for 30 minutes.
Could it be that it's just the people going to Salt Lake that are driving up the price? Right? Like, they're on that flight, and so it's in high demand because there's a lot more people going there than Portland. So, you know what I mean? Is that why?
I don't know. But if I tried going from Seoul to Salt Lake, wouldn't there be a better flight?
Well, have you tried that?
No.
Let's send him to Salt Lake.
Because it's just...
Because it's cheaper, and then tell him to get his ass home somehow.
It's just so bizarre to me. You want to talk about an indirect route, Seattle to Salt Lake to Portland? The Seattle flight's only 30 minutes. Why are we in Salt Lake?
Yeah. I can't answer that.
And I see this all the time when I book flights, and it never makes any sense to me why people do that. None. Unless you said, there's some weird Salt Lake bros.
It has to be some demand of getting people to Salt Lake and then adding more people onto that flight, filling it up. But at the same time, I don't understand why it costs more, though. I don't get that part.
Well, because it's in higher demand. That's the easy part. Look, whether you believe it or not,
in Portland, why is that in higher demand?
There's probably more people going from Salt Lake to Portland that you have to buy. Those seats are they're driving up don't they use dynamic pricing, right?
I don't know.
So those seats are more expensive because there's more people that want to take it. Right?
Just seemed an odd, because when I search to get to Portland, that flight comes up on the search engine. And I don't understand why it's on the search engine. Because under no circumstances would anyone trying to go from Seoul to Portland, there is not a person on earth that would choose that flight, and yet it's there. Because again, remember, that flight isn't getting to Salt Lake. That flight is getting to Portland.
Deal's in on the Vancouver Ford text line. He says, my wife once went from Portland to Atlanta back to Dallas. So the idea was going from Portland to Dallas. She had to go to Atlanta first.
Dude, that's wild. But it is going to Salt. But see, the thing is, I think, and I may be wrong about this. I'm just spitballing here.
Someone from the airlines has to be listening to shed some light on this.
I think the Salt Lake to Portland leg is going to have people that are just in Salt Lake.
Just going to Salt Lake.
And that they're going to Portland from Salt Lake. In other words, that's a very popular leg.
And so is Seattle to Salt Lake.
Exactly. And so that drives up the price. That's what I think.
Maybe. Yeah, that has to be so just you're screwed if you're trying to go to Salt Lake, or I don't.
Yeah, like for example, if it flew through instead of Salt Lake, it flew through I don't know. Well, I'm trying to think of a less popular.
Yeah, someone who say Salt Lake is a Delta hub, thus more competition. So that it's everyone's trying to get to Salt Lake because then from Salt Lake you get other places, so you just get screwed.
Well, I think once you land in Salt Lake, you now have a lot of people who want to fly to Portland, and that's why the price is higher. And then in Seattle, you have a lot of people that want to get to Salt Lake, and that's why the price is higher.
Maybe.
And then all encompassing, it's $1,800.
But also, I would feel like you'd have plenty of people in Seattle that wanted to fly to Portland, and you wouldn't even have to worry about Salt Lake.
So that's where I think there's a lot of Seattle to Portland flights, aren't there? Like, I think they can that's such a common thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That I feel like that's cheaper because it's 30 minutes and there's a million of them.
But here's another. So I did the search from Seoul to Salt Lake, and for $1,300 and some change, so I guess closer to $1,400, I can get from Seoul to Salt Lake, and I only have to stop in San Francisco. So
$1,300, we're going Seoul.
$1,400 basically.
San
13
Fran,
is some change. Yep.
Seoul, San Fran, Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
Okay, but then add Portland, and I bet it jacks up.
Yeah, but again, we're just saying if I was trying to fly from Seoul to Salt Lake, why would I again take that horse crap flight when I can just take this one? I still don't get the weird multi-stop. They're always more expensive and the most inconvenient flight possible, and it's always double the price.
So that one's cheaper. So if you're actually going to Salt Lake, that one's cheaper, but you fly through San Francisco and not Seattle.
Not Seattle.
But it's also...
Flight news just frightens me.
But wait, but you've also added... That's not a good comp because you have the Portland leg, the fourth leg, that is not on that other flight.
No.
So that's why it's cheaper.
Yeah, I guess. Here's one where you can go to Tokyo and then to Toronto and then to Salt Lake. Some unknown reason. Yeah. Yeah, you fly from Seoul.
Well, we're getting no answers.
No, there is no answer. I just think that the airlines make S up. I think they're just effing with you at that point. They're like, go ahead, pick this flight. Like when the good flights run out, that's your only other option. Yeah, you want to get to you want to get home. Yeah,
I feel like my brain is breaking thinking about it. Maybe that's what they want.
Look, the airlines all suck. Can we admit that?
Yeah.
The airlines
There's not
all
a good
suck.
one among them.
No, there's not.
They're all a bunch of bitches.
Pretty much. And they all make a gajillion dollars, and then they try to squeeze another penny out of you. I never want to hear about an airline that cries poor. They're all just swimming in money because
they'll tell you it costs so much to run everything.
Well, boo-hoo. We play the fun game of what the CEO of every airline makes. Something tells me they're doing just fine.
Freaking punch it, bitch! All right, let's talk about biting the heads off. No, tearing.
Ripping. Yeah. No one's biting.
Tipping. Ripping the heads off of animals. I'm going to kick your ass, you little bitch.
The Delta CEO made $36 million last year. Get bent.
Well,
Delta.
made a lot of big decisions.
I got the list. American Airlines, $31 million. United Airlines, $18 million.
Wow, United guy's a steal.
Good value there.
Probably a woman.
Wow.
What?
Scott Kirby.
That's just truth. It's gender inequity.
Southwest CEO earns $9.3 million.
There's your bargain. Except he's running that airline into the ground.
Oh, but look at this.
He or she.
Yeah.
Okay, the Delta Airlines CEO, he makes $34.2 million. This was in 2023, last year, full year. The year before, $9.6 million.
Oh, what did he get?
All these people, okay, American Airlines, in 2022, he was making $4.8 million, then $31.4 the next year. United, $9.8 million in 2022, $18.6 the next year. Southwest, $5.3 million in 2022, $9.3 the next year. They're all doubling their salaries in 12 months.
Cool. Way to go.
Probably all that PPP money.
Freaking airlines. That's it. I'm taking a train everywhere I go now. I'm going to train down to Pebble Beach.
You can't trust them. You
No.
can't
Good
trust
to be
airlines.
Ed Bastian.
You can't trust insurance companies. You can't trust the government. You can't trust anything. No. The only thing you can trust is us.
That's right. We don't lie to you, as far as you know.
All right. Let's talk about ripping the heads off of animals. Next, here's Buck.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
This is a Big Ten Media Week edition of
Shocker, offensive lineman doesn't like middle distance running.
Yeah.
Does anyone like? I'm being dead serious. Can anyone get excited over a middle distance race?
More than I can about the long distance race.
I'm guessing middle distance racers.
That is true. Like you just like if you're running like the 5 mile whatever, like
Olympic marathon, cool. I'm not tuning in. Let me know mile 26.
It's a valid point. I just find running in general as a spectator sport
not great.
It's hard for me to get on board. Sprints, yes, like it's over in like 10 seconds. I get that, but just like I just have to watch someone literally in a pack jog around the track like 16 times, and then I don't know. That just doesn't. It does absolutely nothing for me. None.
So here's somebody that's answering your question about why the airlines do it that way.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty simple answer. He says so that they fill the planes up. It's all data. So it's like, hey, let's go to Salt Lake on this because there'll be a lot of people that want to go from Salt Lake to Portland. Yeah. Therefore, we'll fill the plane. You know?
And you can get people to go get off the plane in Seattle, fill more people on to go to Salt Lake, get more people off there.
But I guess I'm saying is just whenever you search for a flight, there's always a handful of options down at the bottom that I contend no human being has ever bought. Ever.
Okay. Well.
And so I don't know why they
should put you in charge.
I just don't know why they just don't put those options. No one's buying those under any circumstances.
A New Jersey man is facing an animal cruelty charge after allegedly beheading a seagull that was stealing his daughter's French fries.
Hey, man, don't screw with French fries.
Damn. 29-year-old Franklin Ziegler of Cape May has been charged.
Oh, he goes by Frank.
Francis.
Police said officers responded to an animal cruelty incident at Maurice Piers on Boardwalk Avenue July 6th. Witnesses reported that Ziegler had decapitated the seagull with his bare hands.
Look, I'm not going to lie. That seems a bit extreme. Like, I get, like, it's your daughter's fries, but it does seem a bit extreme to rip the head off.
I mean, even if you're going to kick it, like, which I wouldn't endorse, but, like, you had to wrangle this thing.
I'm not going to lie. I'd kick it. Like,
and then rip the head off.
If I'm eating some fries and a seagull comes and tries to take them,
you can give that thing the boot.
I'm kicking a bird.
Why aren't you just waving it
away?
Like
a little shooing action.
Yeah, shoo.
Yeah, because I guess.
Birds are weenies.
Yeah, I'm not standing up and I'm not roundhousing it or anything.
And you're not going to get it if you do.
No.
It's going to fly. It's going to be like.
You're right. You're like,
good luck with that.
You bitch slap it. That's a backhand.
Yeah. You just kind of shoo it.
Yeah, you shoo it away.
I thought that was universal.
You don't grab it.
He grabbed it and took its head off.
Rip its.
Was he on meth?
I don't know, man.
He's angry about fries.
But look, can I also say, should that really be an animal cruelty charge?
Well, you are ripping the head off a live animal.
I know, but it's a pigeon. We don't care about pigeons.
That's true, but I don't think.
No, it's a seagull.
It's a seagull.
I mean, where do you draw the line?
Well,
that's right, seagull. Sorry.
I think I'm telling you, we drew the line at seagull, crow, and pigeon. I'll tell you what, if this was
a blue jay,
now we're like, whoa, hey,
put that guy in prison.
Listen here, you son of a gun. But he did get the charge. Someone reported him, and that's the thing. It's one thing, like, you can wring its neck, you can't rip its head off.
Would you report somebody that you saw rip the head off of a seagull? Because I wouldn't.
Nah. I'd probably be like this.
Like, whoa. You come and talk about it here the next day.
I'm out of here.
But can we take that down a notch or two?
They also said he was irate and uncooperative with officers.
Well, I mean, clearly, when you're ripping the head off something, I think irate probably comes into play.
I'm going to guess that it was not just about the seagull, and he had a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah, they're saying it was actually an unrelated investigation. So that opens a whole can of worms.
Oh, so they just tacked this on?
Yeah, further investigation resulted in an additional charge of third-degree animal cruelty. He was also hit with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Yeah. My man's got some problems. We need to go to therapy and put mom on the back burner because we got some, got some new issues that we need to dig into for a while.
Do you think that would be hard to rip the head off of a seagull? Nah. Apparently not.
Nah. I mean,
I kind of do.
Birds are really, really small, and they got the little. they got hollow bones.
Seagulls aren't that small, and also, like, you still gotta get the skin. I don't know. I mean, I think you could break its neck pretty easily, but removing the head from body, that seems hard.
That's weird.
I don't.
How does that happen?
And I don't want to find out. Although, to be
Just
fair,
pops right off.
Look.
Also, this bird couldn't fly away, when he tried to grab at it.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, somebody said they fault the bird for being caught.
There is an element to that.
I mean, the bird did not need to be caught. It had its wings.
I feel like if a bird gets
French fries, man.
I know. If a bird gets caught, I feel like you can fly, I can't fly. If I catch you,
you earned this.
You earned it. Yeah, I'm blaming the bird. But, I do have in my trash right now, it's not a seagull, but I do have a decent-sized star jay. We could see how
Put
easy,
it to the test?
We could see how easy it is to rip the head off of that.
Get your gloves on, Sue.
You should do that.
It's
Could you do that? Like, this is the hippie in me. I could not rip the head off of anything. Anything. Well, maybe Buck, but...
You think that'd be easy?
It is.
No.
It is disturbing to have to physically...
Yeah. Could you decapitate anything? I don't think I could do it.
It is dead. I mean...
Well, I know, but you would...
It died of natural
Seriously,
causes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Would you go home and do that?
No.
I mean, there's really no incentive to do it, so you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Radio content, that's incentive.
Radio content.
But, like,
Could
let's say
I do
I
it?
paid you a bunch of money.
Yeah, I could do it. I wouldn't want to. Well, I've told you the story about the cat in the rock, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
That was the most disturbing thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Your wife?
Yeah, we had my boxer when I lived out in the country on acreage. He would catch things. He would chase rats, rodents, gophers, and there were a lot of cats out in the country. And he didn't know the difference, and he would bring them to the front door. And I didn't tell my wife that he would bring cats. And I would just throw the cat away in the trash. Or I would take it down to the mountain, like there was the big hill, and I would just throw it in the woods and be like, it's someone else.
Nature will take care of it.
Nature will take care of it. And one day, Apollo brought a little cat, and he had broken its neck, but the cat was still alive. But it couldn't move, and the head was completely the other way, but it was meowing, and it broke my heart. I was like, oh, my God. So everyone's freaking out, and so I got my gun. I was going to shoot it, and my wife lost it on me. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do?
Probably the most humane thing you can do.
Right? I'm going to put a bullet in it. And she just was freaking out. And so I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'll just break its neck further. Or I'll just grab the head and twist it and snap it.
Not better?
Not better. Lost on me screaming. And meanwhile, the cat is like, the cat's meowing and it can't move. And my dog's still messing with it. And everyone's losing it. And so it was my wife's great plan to hit it with a rock. And I was like, how is that any better?
Not better than the gun.
I said, that's way worse. And she just was like, you are not shooting it. You're not breaking its neck. And so she settled on hitting it with a rock.
So crushing its skull was the best of the three.
That's what I said. So I went and found a big rock, like probably it's a two-handed rock. And let me tell you something. It didn't kill the cat. And it made it so much worse. I was so pissed. I screamed out. We're just yelling at each other. I'm cursing at her. She's cursing at me. And I'm like, you dumb son of blah, blah, blah. I just want, like, you do it. You know.
That's rough.
It was bad.
Did you shoot it?
No, I hit it with the rock like
Again?
2 more times.
Yeah.
And because I figured in that
seems way more savage to me.
I figured in the heightened state, the worst thing I could do is go get a gun. And it was, I mean, when I tell
then
you.
your wife's dead.
Yeah, when I tell you that thing caused like a 3-month rift in my marriage, and to this day, that haunts me. That is the worst thing.
Well,
That is the worst physical act I've ever had to do.
Who can do that?
Apparently
I couldn't have even done that.
Yeah, I had an issue. My dog just caught a rat once, and I don't care about rats, but the rat was still alive, also kind of paralyzed. Like it was twitching, it was moving. I'm like, I'm gonna have to kill this thing. And I was a teenager. I'm like, I don't know. So I called my dad at work. I'm like, what do I do with this thing? He's like, well, you can put it in a garbage bag and whack it against a tree. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. He's like, well, you can let it out of the bag, but then I guess if it starts moving again, you're gonna have to catch it. Like, if you don't want to catch it, you just gotta have to bash it against that tree. And I'm like, all right. So twisted up the garbage bag and whacked it against the tree, and that was the end of that.
Don't do it.
I don't really care about a rat, though.
I don't either as much, but I mean, even that didn't sit right. I'm like, the dog almost had it. Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
You can put it in a bag and just suffocate it.
Yeah.
Some people do that with like baby kittens that they don't
chew their way out.
The other one that I suggested in a very irrational argument between me and an angry Korean lady, I suggested that I drown it. I said, what if I got a bucket of water and I just put it in there?
That's also bad.
Well,
I just think shooting it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shooting it is
that was
by
the first good
far
idea.
the best.
Yes.
I mean, come on, it's quick. It's
I said I'll put it in a bag. I'll put it in the hole, and just one shot, and it's over, and it's done with, and never know the difference.
I guess you could have thrown it in the woods like some of the dead ones. I mean,
alive?
Nature would take care of it. You wouldn't have to.
That's true.
Yeah,
like leaving a lamb for the slaughter.
I'm not kidding.
Is it that cruel to leave it? I mean, it's gonna die, right? So is that really that?
Apparently, yes. I'm not kidding when I say that is a top 5 fight.
Look at your Mets
that I've had in 16 years of marriage.
Again?
Was over that stupid cat. Yes, my
They
dominant
won
New
again.
York Mets.
Jeff McNeil, man.
Dude, they can't be stopped. And someone's in says he hunts doves, and he does say that if the dove is not dead when you shoot it, you rip the head off. He said it is mercy, and he said the seagull's head would pop right off. So this is a guy that apparently he rips the heads off doves, which, by the way, is not okay because a dove is not a garbage bird.
Gonna go blow some ducks?
Doves are pretty close to pigeons, though.
Well, doves are peace animals. We release doves at weddings.
But
no one releases pigeons.
Pigeons are just doves in street clothes.
Exactly. Pigeons are white trash doves.
Yeah, doves are the dressed up pigeon.
Well, apparently this dude is claiming that if you shoot a dove and it doesn't die,
Is there a lot of dove shooting going on?
You rip the head off.
Yeah, people hunt.
Why rip I guess you just twist the head and then the head does pop.
It seems like a weird bird to hunt, though.
Yeah, you just grab it and wring
It just
its neck
pops
and
right
it pops
off.
right off. By the way, to the person saying if you wouldn't do it to a dog, you shouldn't do it to a cat, own both. I would have done the same thing to the dog. I would have shot the
What do you
dog.
mean?
That's what they did to Old Yeller.
The correct answer
Well,
to
why
if
is he saying that if you wouldn't do? Did you once say that you wouldn't do that to a dog?
No, I would 100%.
I think the
do
person
the
is
same thing.
assuming that he doesn't have feelings for cats the way you would for dogs. But
When you live out in the country, unfortunately, I had to do this a handful of times, like where you find a deer that has been run over and its legs are completely shattered. And if you see it, that happened I lived out in the country for 10 years. I'd say there was probably 6 or 7 times that I had to go get a gun, go out and shoot an animal that was, incapacitated. And that's what you do. And then you drag it off into the brush and, you leave it. But apparently, if your wife's there, that's not an answer. So you better believe that no other time in my marriage did I let her know that anything was being shot. All that was done under the cover of darkness or she's not around.
All right, we'll wrap it up next on The Fan.
The Ducks are on a roll.
They have hammer recruiters, and they have a lot of